saying? I'm like, wow.
Oh
Like,
man.
like you know what's funny? You know what's funny is that they don't realize that we come from a generation, right? You know, hey Sean, I'm not trying to take shots at you, but we came from a generation where by the time we were 14, 15, we were already planning to move out the house. Like, what?
Yeah.
I ain't dealing with this
Yeah,
shit. You want me to come
tired
home
of
by
this
what
lady,
time?
right?
Nah, I gotta
I can
go.
understand.
18, I'm out. 18 years old, I'm out. I don't care. I don't care if I'm on the streets. At least I'm in the streets. You're not
Hey, this is
telling
real
me at
talk, Puerto Rock.
19. You're not telling me at 19 to come home.
Hey, Puerto Rock, at 12:01, like my birthday's August 3rd.
I'm out.
At 12:01, all my brothers and sisters, we got woke up on our 18th birthday. At 12:01 on our 18th birthday, and my mom was like, "All right, hey, what you gonna do?" Because at 6 o'clock in the morning, you up out of here. That
Oh
was the
man.
understanding. AJ, she woke up
Oh,
at
man.
midnight. Was like, "Hey, what's your plan? School, college, and them streets, you know, or the
You know what I'm
military?"
saying?
And I chose the military. You know what I mean? Like that was the understanding. At 18, it's done. Her job was over.
Yeah. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Like my parents didn't
Yeah,
kick
my
me
be
out,
there
but
in
they
3
knew
months.
I was always planning again. And that's one of the reasons why I joined the military too. Because they knew
Same.
I'm out.
Same.
I'm out. I'm not doing this. I'm out. I'm doing my own thing. You know, you guys, the way I saw it, right? My parents did what they had to do up to 18. At this point, I'm leaving them alone. They deserve, you know, God rest their souls, but they deserve to just do them. Got it. I'll figure it out one way or another. You know what I'm saying? I'll
Yeah.
figure it out. You did your job. You know what I'm saying? You kept me out
I
of
respect
trouble.
that.
You gave me the belt when I needed the belt. You gave me the praise when I needed the praise. I'm 18,
Yeah.
19. This you know, is over. I can't. And it was also a me thing, right? Like I can't. And then I knew better. Like I can't come home whenever I want because it is still their house. So me opening a door, walking through at 3 in the morning, I get it. You know, I'm grown, but this is still their house. So I'm like, the only answer is for me to leave. That's the only way
Right.
this is gonna work. I had to go.
Yeah.
I had to leave. I appreciate it,
Gotta
but
go,
I,
gotta
I
go.
would
I
I would
gotta
come back
respect
home
your
on
households
leave.
as a man, but at the same time, I'm not gonna come home at 9 p.m. either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No,
And I
it's real
got
talk. Like,
girlfriends
I would come
now.
home
Where I'm
on
gonna
leave.
fuck. You know, I got girlfriends. Where I'm
Exactly.
gonna fuck them. Nah, there's not in the bedroom. I'm not doing that. like, yo, I got. There's lots of planning I gotta do. I gotta do my own thing. Yeah, it's just that I was out. You know what I'm saying? Did my thing, moved out, and the only time I actually did move back in my parents' house, I was still in the military, but my dad went to jail. Long story in of itself. He says he served 5 years. And that, and my mom didn't even graduate high school. She worked in a laundromat. So she was going through some hard times, because my dad was really the breadwinner. So now she's struggling. So I was able to get orders to New York to train reserves. And I said, Mom, I'm going to stay with you. You know what? Dad is gone. I'm going to be the man in the house. I paid all the bills. I took care of her until my dad got back out. Foot together. He got everything back together. As soon as everything together, I'm like, you guys are good? You guys are good? Yeah. I'm out. I'm back. The deal's back on. I'm out. I did my job. I took care of Mama. Dad, I got her. You had nothing to worry about while you did your stupid shit. Don't worry about it. I got her. But as soon as he got his foot together and he back on that grind and he's the breadwinner, I'm like, because we can't have two breadwinners in the house. That's not how it works.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out.
Yeah, exactly.
Deuces, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? I'm gone again. Back on my own grind, But I had to take care of my mom. My mom was just in a struggle. I'm like, I'm not gonna let her fail. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But as soon as Dad came back, I'm like, Dad, you good? Oh shit, you got a job? Oh, cool. Oh shit, you got a car. Oh, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm gone.
You gravy. You gravy now.
Here's the
I'm
keys to the
out.
house. Here's the keys to the house. I'm out. You ain't gotta kick me out. I'm volunteering. Stuff like that. But yes, man. And I think a lot of kids lost that drive. And I understand, society's a little bit harder, but I'm telling you, if you have the drive to be independent and you want to do you'll find a way. I think a lot of kids, they're so scared on their
They're scared to
own.
fail.
They
Yeah,
don't
they're
have
scared.
that. They're scared to fail.
Exactly.
And they don't want that
They're
drive.
scared to
But
fail.
you need that drive.
Yeah.
You gotta have that drive. That's
Well,
what's
no,
gonna
but
push you to work hard and success.
Yeah, they're
It's gonna
scared
push
to
you.
fail because they never learned how to fail and come back. They've never learned, so they think that, and that's transferred over to everything else in their lives. That's they're like, no, I should be able to do this and still get that. That's where that's coming from. It's generation.
Yeah, like real talk today, my little man had football. He had to like sign up, go get fitted for his pads and stuff like that. So we do all that. We get in the car, and he's like, "Man, they're gonna have me." My son's a little heavy, right? So he's in junior football. They play him with weight, so he's on the offensive line. So he's like, "Man, I really don't want to play offensive line. I think I want to play basketball." And this is the realest shit. I said, "Hey, bro, you my little man. And I love you with all my heart, but you slow, can't jump, and that ain't your game. You's a football player, but stop that." He looked at me. I was like, "Yeah, what'd you think I was gonna say? Like, you could do anything." No, you have to be brutally honest and tell them the harsh truths.
Facts.
You have to tell the harsh truth, and a lot of people,
especially boys,
sugar,
especially little boys.
Oh yeah. I'm always honest with them because the world is not kind to men in general, and the more honest I can be with them, you know what I mean. The society does not care about men's feelings at all, and like I said, I love them, but I told them, I was like, bro, unless you wake up tomorrow 6'5", you know what I mean, with a 40-inch vertical, that's not your sport. But right now, let's concentrate on football. We'll work on the weight, but football is your sport. Basketball, that ain't it, bro. His little feelings got hurt. We got some ice cream, but I was like, it ain't it. That ain't it. You know what I mean?
Whereas
his mom, she might
suck. You gotta be honest. My daughter, she played volleyball and she tried to do the violin. Oh, I went to one of her recitals and people clapping. I'm sitting there like, this shit is trash. I'm like, what the fuck am I listening to? And then after the recital, my daughter asked me, how did I do? I'm like, I'm never coming to this again. I told her, I'm not doing this. Like, you're terrible. And she looked at me like, I'm like, you don't practice enough. Listen, if you're not practicing to get good, I'm not coming back here. You can invite your mom, but I'm not doing that. I'm like, it sucked.
Yeah. You're so bad it hurt my eyes.
It's bad.
It's so bad my eyes hurt.
I even told her, I'm not coming back for this. If you're not serious about this, then why do I need to be serious? Right? And she's like, oh, whatever. But the one thing she did take serious was volleyball. And she was good at that, right? Good, right? I'm like, all right. But one day she lost. She lost in the playoffs, right? Well, she didn't lose the playoffs. She lost one of the rounds. He still had another round to do, right? I'm not doing this. I'm like, person, fuck this. I told her, no, you're not quitting when you lose. You get to quit when you win. When you win the game and you come back to me and say, I quit, then I'll let you quit. But you're not quitting because you lost.
Yeah.
You're going to quit after the win. And she didn't understand that. And I'm like, you're going to see. In the next game, do what you got to do, but you're going to go out there. You're not going to bet on your team because that's not how I raise you. You're going to get shots because she was good. She sucked. I'm like, yeah, you need to quit because you're fucking it up for the team. But she wasn't. Get out there. You're one of the better players on the team. Don't fuck this up for them. That's not fair to them.
Yep.
Just because your feels. You lost together, get your ass out there. So I got out there. She won the next game, and then she won the next game, and they made it to the next round. After she made it to the next round, she's celebrating. I'm like, all right, cool, let's go to offense. Like, whoa, we just won. No, you wanted to quit. Now's the time to quit. Then she started realizing, I see what you like. I was in my feels. I'm like, yeah, you were in your feels, and it's okay.
Exactly.
It's okay to lose. You're gonna lose. Yep. It's just happen, right? But you don't quit because you lose. You got to figure out why you lost and get better. And they did. They kind of figured out the team and why they were losing. Don't quit. You don't give up because things didn't work out. You got to learn. Understand why things didn't go out. Was it lack of planning, lack of practice, a stupid mistake, preparation? Or maybe that one time you just wasn't good that day and the person was better. That happens. One day, the person's just better than you on that day. You could play that person 100 times and you would have won 99, but on that day you lost. And that's okay.
Yeah, that's why the college basketball tournaments
But you don't quit because you lost. You just don't remove yourself, And that was an important lesson for her to learn because that carried her for almost anything she does. Because you're gonna continue to get L's. Even small L's or large L's.
I mean, in the height
and disappointments.
Yeah, I tell all my children, like, man, you're gonna take L. You know what I mean? It happens. Me and your mama, we still take L to this day. But it's how you bounce back from. It's how you build character. You know what I'm saying? And it just there's something about this generation, and I think social media has to do with a bit of it. You see the instant gratification, or the instant success, or the immediate success from what social media can provide, or at least the semblance of it, and people think that shit is reality, and they're like, well, you know, I can do anything, and it's all fugazi. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, there's last story.
All right.
My son played. Last story. My son played soccer last year, and soccer's not a sport. And my son's so bad they put the handicap
You said soccer's
kid
not a
in.
sport?
Did you just say soccer's
Oh
not
man!
Oh man!
And the handicap
what
kid
did you do? Oh, half my chat. They're like from England, bro.
yeah,
Half my chat's like from
Why
England.
did you have to do that?
Oh, you don't know what you did, Ghost.
Man.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh,
My bad.
My man said
We
soccer's
were
not a
playing
sport.
football.
Lord.
No. They put the handicap
Extreme,
kid
like, wait a minute.
on my kid, and the
soccer's not a
handicap kid
sport?
scored on my kid. And I was like, after the game, I said, "Bro, we ain't playing soccer no more. They didn't put the slow kid in." And nah, bro, that ain't you. That ain't your sport, man. Let's hang it up.
Man.
You had a good run.
Oh shit! He said they put the special kid on you, and you still like, bro. I'm sorry, but
Oh, man.
you're going back to American football.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going back to listen. Sometimes listen. Even Michael Jordan realized he was meant to play basketball. Even Jordan realized. Even Jordan, you know, he tried to go in the major leagues, and that didn't work out. Get your ass back to get back. This ain't for you, dog. You're not gonna do nothing for the Chicago White Sox. Get your ass back to the Bulls. And guess why? He won 3 more championships. Just sometimes you just gotta recognize the talents that was given to you. Whether you think it was by God or just by grace or just plain luck, recognize what you got going for yourself and capitalize on it. All right. Hey, so welcome my friends, my family, my fellow gamers, your only friends, these YouTube streets, Porter Rock 77, with another episode of 60 Frames, No Lag Podcast. Hey, chat, let me know if you guys hear like the fan sound every time I talk. I'm trying to do some adjustments and stuff like that. But let me know, you know, because the last live I did, a lot of people complained that every time I talked, there was like a fan. Like it sounded like there was a fan in the background and stuff. So I don't know if the mic was picking up background noise and stuff like that. Every time I spoke into the mic, but just let me know and stuff like that. The funny part is it doesn't get replicated. Like right now, you guys ain't hearing me, right? You guys hear my voice. Do you hear anything in the background in the Discord?
Yeah, you're fine.
Like you don't hear like a background noise as I'm talking?
Nope.
Yeah. No. But I think the guys in the chat. Okay, he says the background noise is gone, but your mic is going in and out. Is it still going in and out right now? Golly, it's like one or the other. It feels like a role-playing game. You get one ability, but it comes with a negative impact. Like he says you sound like third party. Oh shit! Here we go.
Oh man!
Oh my God! Oh, already, Lord, it sounds like third party. My shit is multiplat. My shit sounds like I made it for Xbox Series S. All right, man. Here we go. But hey, I want to say thank you so much for rocking out another episode 60 Frames No Lag. And we got the crew here. We got a nice little ensemble Brady bunch right here. We're gonna start out with Craig Harris. You know, top flight security of the world. Craig, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on? Glad to be here. Be here for a little bit. Starting a new position tomorrow, so I got to get in there early.
Pause.
Yeah,
That's what they have.
yeah.
Already Whoa, keep that private. Oh, no. Congrats, man. You got promoted. You got promoted. That's it. You threatened them with the Diddy oil, didn't you? If I don't get this goddamn
I thought that's what we were talking about.
I'm bringing Diddy oil. That's what he said. If I don't get this damn job, the Diddy oil's coming. So you better get it ready. Don't give me this position. You better get ready.
We're doing
bro.
Playing. Went back to playing Assassin's Creed Shadows. I watched the video on how they want you to play the game, so now I'm enjoying it a lot more. Doesn't feel as convoluted as I thought it felt. So now that I'm playing it the way they want me to. But just doing that. And looking at the I looked at the X meltdown for a day, had a good laugh on that. But
PlayStation's third party, dog. We got something.
That's what they're saying. We got Khan, let astray, run them up. Like bullshit. Let astray, run them up. Yeah.
Listen, I will get reparations for this.
There you go.
I will get my Council War VA claims submitted. I'm gonna get my Council War VA claims. This shit is preposterous. All right,
there
Sean
you go.
King,
Oh, man.
the man with 1,000
What's going on,
plaques.
Puerto
What's
Rock?
going on? What's going on? Listen, man.
I'm all
Listen,
right.
my community's rough, man. Brother, listen, this is not for me. My community's rough. Listen, I gotta warn you. You entered.
Uh-huh.
You entered. I got guys. There's people and gals. I don't even know if they're guy, girls, he, she, them. I don't know who they are.
Uh-huh.
I can't even tell you their gender or their pronouns. Right? I just call them the glimmer gamers. The reason why I call them the glimmer gamers, I call them the glimmer gamers. And the reason why I call them the glimmer gamers is because first you see a glimmer and then you don't. These dudes are lethal.
Oh.
I don't know who they are, but Glimmer Gamer came and be like, hey, how come Sean don't got plats for like the big first party games? So they want some investigative report. What's going on here? You got 1,000 plats, but they want to see some Ragnarok, Spider-Man, Horizon Zero Dawn plats. Can you hook it up? Can you hook up?
Oh yeah, I'm getting on top of it, man. Look,
You know what
look,
saying?
I'm building
They
on
wanna
it
see
now.
some- listen, they want to see your streams. They
I
said,
got
go
you.
to his channel. But they said they don't want Donkey Deaky Dong plats. They want the big ones.
man.
They want to see Horizon Zero Dawn, Forbidden West. They want you to go for the big shits.
Oh, I got you. I got you.
And they said they will support. They said they'll support.
I got you.
You bring it. You stream these games. Go for them plats. They got you.
I got you.
Listen. This ain't for me. I'm just passing the word.
Like I said, I'm up for the challenge. I'm
They
always
want
up for
that.
the challenge, man.
Because
right now I've been playing Wu Chang. I've been playing Wu Chang and I've been playing Resident Evil 2. So I've been between those right now. But yeah, I am doing God of War 2016 because I have to actually platinum that and also beat that.
All right.
Yeah.
So
I'm behind. I'm behind.
All right. They want that. They want the big guns. You know, they didn't want the Tinky Weaking. They're playing. Yeah. They're like he's playing Iron Mayo. They're like I'm playing Iron Mayo. They don't want that. The Glimmer Gamers, they want the big Sony first party. I'm like, listen, I can't talk shit because I got 19 plats. So what the fuck am I gonna say to him? But I will pass the word on. That's all I'm doing. I'm not judging you.
I got you.
I'm just passing the word. And they got you. They said you do that, you start streaming them big guns. They'll show
That's
up.
what I'm
They
doing
wanna see
now.
it.
I'm focusing on
All
the
right.
big titles now.
All right,
I got
hey,
you.
so chat, I did my part. Please don't come after me.
I got you.
I get to live another day. All right. I get to live another day.
I got you.
All right, Glimmer Gamers. Hey, you told me to pass it along. Support the man. Rock with his channel. Watch his streams. Support him in those big game guns. But Extreme is smiling because he knows PlayStation fans are full of shit. They talk about they want these games and then when they come out, they don't do it. What's going on, Extreme?
Yo, hey, hi everybody. Nothing too much. Just here to watch PlayStation house burn. That's basically it.
Man. Sorry.
You know?
Oh man. I think me and Extreme are the only ones that are like, you know what? Fuck PlayStation. Y'all were like, well, you already said
I was
it.
just saying,
He
I was
already
getting
said
out.
it. He said it. He said, I'm done. Fuck this brand. He came out like Tupac. Fuck Totoki, fuck Herman Halls, and fuck your bitch too. Ride or die. Yo, he came out like Tupac. Yo, I'm like, holy shit, this is like East Coast, West Coast beef all over again. Oh shit, he ain't playing. All right. So he said pause. So besides that, what's going on, Extreme? Everything good?
Yo, listen, people, you got to play some chill games. You know, these are hard times for PlayStation fans. So you know what? Again, I recommend to you, Dave the Diver, Dredge.
Oh my
You
god.
know, gotta
Expedition.
get
Don't forget
the chill
Expedition.
games in.
And no. Okay, the chill games.
Oh, Expedition's got you way too much grief for the moment. You know, just stay away.
Right now, that's too
You
much.
should have been playing it.
That's too much now.
That's
Said you're gonna get
emotional
grief.
torture. You cannot.
Yo.
You cannot. Okay. You cannot take on Expedition. All right. Just wait.
Just enjoy. All right. Okay. And we got the brain. What is going on, bro?
Yo, man, I'm good,
on,
man. I'm good. I right now I'm traveling. I'm in Connecticut right now. Tomorrow I'll go back to New Jersey. I find it easier to just get on Amtrak as opposed to driving through North Jersey. North Jersey drivers can't drive. I wouldn't even try to dare to drive. No, I wouldn't even try to drive through New York. And then after actually realizing, because I always get confused as to with my surroundings as to when I'm on the train and I'm going through New York as to if I'm in Queens or I'm in somewhere else. I figured out that when Amtrak is going towards Connecticut, it's actually in the Bronx, and I could see 95, and that shit is always backed up in the Bronx. So I was like, you know what? I make the right choice. I can't drive through New York. I would never try to drive through New York. So I'm just taking the easy way out. What?
Listen, only experts drive in New York. Only experts drive in New York. You driving in New York?
Man, I'm a good.
You better have balls of steel. Because they're not letting
I'm
you
a good
You
driver.
gotta squeeze in. You gotta fight for your lanes. Listen, listen. I hate driving New York too because you gotta fight to get to where you want to go.
I took a taxi in New York.
Oh,
this
so
motherfucker had me stressed. I was like, this guy will accelerate you like 40 miles an hour in like
to
200 meters, which is like, I don't know, 10 yards or something, and then brake as fuck. And I'm just like, this can't even be good for your car. And then he would do it again, like a fucking rocket ship. Just accelerate as hard as possible, brake 5 seconds later, accelerate as hard as possible, brake 5 seconds later. I've seen better driving in third world countries.
That's it. This is the New York way.
Hey, you bring up a good point. So I remember when I was car shopping, the last 2 cars that I had within the past 8 years, and it came down to me getting a Jaguar, and I was looking at Jaguars in New York, and I noticed that the Jaguars in New York was much cheaper than getting a Jaguar even in Pennsylvania or New Jersey. So what you just described is exactly why those cars are much cheaper. Because them shits is beat the fuck up.
Listen, if you drive in New York or you even walk around New York and you're like in the auto repair district, 90% of the signs, the biggest portion says transmission. That's like the biggest sign out of all of that. Transmission. Boy, transmissions be going out in New York, boy. That transmissions, boy. It's because of that. It's because of the constant stopping and starting, Oh my God. And God help you if you drive manual in New York. Oh my God. Your clutch is going out. Like literally within the first 10,000 miles. First 10,000 miles, your clutch is gone. Your clutch is gone. Yo, it's crazy. All right. And then finally, we got Ghost. Ghost with the most. What's going on, my brother?
Yeah, I know what's happening. Just, doing the regular, just spending time with the family, and we're down in Florida still, and
nice.
Playing a lot of Destiny 2, Edge of Fate, the new season that came out. It's just grinding through that, and gearing up for 2K26. You know what I mean?
Oh,
just
Not bad.
getting ready for it. So just I'm the hardcorest casual gamer there is, and so I play the games at my pace, and I buy everything and get around to it eventually. So that's just what I'm doing.
And I'm thinking of going back into 2K only because the Knicks are good now. When they suck, I went through like, I'm not buying 2K. Yeah, I'm good. But now that the Knicks are good, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about, my team is good again. I could actually play with my team. But then I think people don't even play with teams no more, right? They do the my player shit now, right? That's like the
my
wave.
player, and
that's what the wave is.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
what it is.
It is.
People don't really fuck with the teams no more, right? It's the my player shit.
Yep.
Yeah, it's mostly my player, my career. Yeah.
I ain't got time for that shit. What the hell I'm gonna do? A little tiny ass.
I mean,
Puerto
they still got
Rican.
play now. People still play now.
I gotta fake my height. I gotta make my guy 6'8". I ain't 6'8". I gotta make a fake guy. Oh man, so I don't know, man. That'll be messed up. I play the game and I try to get a match and nobody's playing. I'm like, nobody plays this shit. Everybody's on my player. I'm like, fuck. So far behind, man. I just can't do it. All right, people. Let me hit up the super chats. Thank you so much. We got Jimmy Harrison says, good to see you, brothers. Much love to P-Rock, Craig, Extreme. Thank you so much. And of course, the rest of the crew's here. But thank you, Jimmy. Truly appreciate it. Stay blessed, my brother. We got Glassdoor Gamer. Thank you for the super chat. He says, I'm so mad. My favorite PlayStation game may or may not go third party. I'm going to go get a PC, pay double, and be a full-time port beggar. Maybe we'll come in a year, two. Maybe I'll play Perfect Tower. Have a great show, fam.
Oh, man. Where you're at, and make sure you play Goat Simulator.
Oh, shit. And we got Nelson's Gaming Culture. He says, soccer in the U.S. is for kids who can't play another, I'm assuming he's going to say another sport.
It is early in the U.S. That's true.
Ouch.
When they get about 12, though, there's some actual skill involved.
Ouch.
Well, I can promise you, my son ain't one of them. I can bring he's straight scrub status.
Extreme is looking at us like, I will not have football slander in this podcast. But the truth is, though, most of the athletic children are pointed towards the American sport and not soccer. Like our popular soccer players, they're the ones that couldn't make the other sports. So go play soccer.
That's
I'm just being the truth. The other sports are hogging up the best talents. They are, right? You'll either be a baseball player, a football player, hockey, basketball, boxer, and then tennis,
Wrestling,
golf, and then soccer. That's what you get. Oh, and swimming. No, swimming goes ahead, then soccer. Oh, no, track too. Then you got track, then soccer.
Track, yeah.
and
Track,
wrestling.
Wrestling, then soccer. What else? Is there any other
You
sport?
forgot gymnastics.
Gymnastics. You know what? Gymnastics.
Gymnastics,
Then
yeah.
soccer. Then soccer. Then soccer. So you have to go through.
You ain't lying.
Then you have to go
You
through
ain't
all
lying,
these
though.
American sports, and then like you don't make it. And maybe
Gymnastics is an
skateboarding.
American.
What?
Tennis is an American. Swimming
You
is
know
an
what I
American.
mean? But those are big sports for in America. I think there's bigger. You think
Yeah,
soccer's
sure,
bigger than
but they're not
tennis in
American
America?
sports.
What?
Yeah.
Listen,
They're big in America. They're not American sports.
they're American sports. It's American. We took it. It's ours.
Nah.
It's ours. It belongs.
You guys have your
Yeah.
football that you pay
No, tennis
by
is ours. It belongs.
carrying
It
the
belongs to-
ball because
it belongs-
you couldn't
it
be
belongs to
creative
us
enough
now.
to call it something else. You're
It
closer
belongs
to
to us.
handball, actually. You know
Okay,
that, right?
handball. No, we have handball. That is a sport.
No, I know that, but I'm saying your football is closer to handball.
I mean, I'm saying, listen, we
I don't know if that's
start the
supposed to
game.
rugby.
Listen,
You hardly
listen,
ever kick it.
Listen,
That doesn't
listen,
even
we
make
do.
sense. You
In
barely
fact, that's
kick
how
it.
you start the game. You cannot start the game
Hold
until
on.
you kick it.
Yeah.
Besides starting
You can't start the game
do
until you
ever
kick it. Yes, you cannot
That's
start the
called
game
football.
until you kick it. It must be
That's
kicked
why
in order to start the game.
That's
It's called the
that's why it's called
kickoff.
football.
It is
Yeah,
called the
it's called
kickoff. You cannot
that's why
start the
it's
And I
game
say
until you
besides
kick it.
that, besides
No.
that,
So now,
he's
see,
right.
You
now we're
hardly
moving the
ever kick it.
goalposts. Now we're moving the goalpost. Do you ever kick it? Yes. Okay. Well, what about listen? And then we kick it again when you go for field goals, and when you go for 3-pointers.
Right?
and 90% of the time you carry the ball.
Right? Yeah, so that way we could position for the kick.
True. I mean, he has a point.
We're placing it for a kick.
Listen, Afro
We're
Black,
just,
don't
see,
go
we're just
with me
listen.
this,
We're just
okay?
more efficient.
American
We're
football
just,
barely ever-
listen, we're just more
barely even
efficient.
use
I'm innocent. I'm innocent.
Listen, we're just more efficient at having the ball travel. You guys are just kicking it around. Like, why kick it around? Just grab it and take it to the place where it needs to go. We're just more efficient.
I mean, hold on, isn't it kind of job
He's looking
of
at me
the
like,
quarterback to throw
no.
the ball at somebody
What?
else?
What happened? What?
Is it a quarterback that throws the ball at somebody else,
Yes.
or is it the person running at the front?
The quarterback. The quarterback throws it.
No, so the quarterback throws the ball, the ball, not kicks the ball, throws the ball.
Yeah.
You guys play handball.
No, but we have a kicker.
No, it's a
They're
handball.
literally called the kicker.
It's a handball.
Let me
You
put it
play
this way:
handball.
are
It's
any
American
soccer
handball.
are any soccer players' position called kicker?
No.
No.
So
You
you
have
have a game called
strikers.
football with no kicker.
With striker, it's better.
Football, we got a position called kicker because they.
But you're not playing kickball, are you?
But you don't have it. See? So no, listen. We won. Until you have a position called kicker, it's football. We have the real
carry by
football.
hand.
Okay. You have a striker. That's MMA. MMA got strikers. Wrong sport.
Damn.
Oh man.
Jesus Christ.
You need forward kicker. Not forward striker, right? That's the position called whatever. Your forwards and your mids.
Do you know why we don't have a person called kicker? Because everybody kicks.
So
It would be
then,
such a stupid position.
But you got the guys who are
You know why you
defensive
don't have a
kickers.
position called thrower? Because every
Huh?
single one of you throws the game.
No, the wide receivers don't throw. Running back don't really throw. I'm just fucking with you. But you need a position called kicker. We have that. We have a position called kicker. They kick. That's their whole purpose. They kick. And that's why it's called football.
Isn't half of the team dedicated to tackling other people? Not even about the ball.
What happened?
Like when I see like American handball, you know,
I mean,
around,
listen.
half of the team is just tackling other people that don't even have the ball.
Doesn't the average soccer player run a half marathon? Literally, like almost 12 miles worth of running when they play a soccer game. It's almost like a half marathon, right? Yeah. So why don't they just call them runners and half marathon? Right? Using your logic, that's what they mostly do. They run like 12 miles and the game is like 1-0. The fuck are we talking? That is the most inefficient. Listen, soccer is the most inefficient scoring game in the history of scoring games.
Because
like 4 hours, 12 miles, like 12 miles of running, and the score's like 0-0. Like holy shit!
Yeah, because it's skillful.
You know,
because it requires people to not just carry something.
It's skillful.
Even in basketball, you're not allowed to carry the ball because we know that's cheating. You guys better
technically they are though now. Technically now they are. If you've seen basketball lately, it's terrible now. Am I lying? I'm not lying. Basketball lately, basketball is bad now. They take like 10 steps. Like it's blatant. It's fucking filthy. Like I'm like shit. Like. This is terrible. Anyway, let's go next one. Jenna Hayes. If you can drive in New York and DC, you are a good driver. Anyone going to Evo in Vegas?
Evo?
I would love to go to Evo. I would love to go to Evo Vegas. You know, especially I'm so close by it, but it's not in the cards. I can't take the vacation days. My vacation days are locked because I'm using it towards the end of the year when I get out of the military. That allows me to like separate earlier. And I use all my vacation days in one shot. So that's why, Ghost, I can't use the trip you offered. Because I don't have vacation days. I have vacation days, but I can't use it. You know what I'm talking about, Ghost, right? Yeah. When you retire, when you get out, you can use all your leave days.
You can leave all your leave day. Yeah, I did the same thing. Shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm using all my shit.
Yes, sir.
That's it. Like my actual retirement date is actually January 31st, 2026. But I'm leaving November 14th of 2025. I'm out this bitch. I'm gonna have Thanksgiving in Florida with all the people high on bath salt. Yeah, as a civilian. Yup. You know, so that's why I don't got the leave days to go on vacation. So yeah, I won't be going to Evo. Gordo, P23. Xbox is dog shit.
Oh man.
That is true. Hey, no lie spoken. No lie spoken. Truest words.
No lie spoken.
And then Bobo Country. NFL is not a sport. Men in tights rolling on top.
Oh man.
Pause.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's nasty. That's some Craig. That's some Craig outlook right there.
Oh man.
I'm rubbing off. Now I see why. Now I see why you're playing college football 25 all the time.
Oh man.
Oh man. Now it makes sense.
Oh man.
Oh man. All right, people. Hey, let's get with the topic. Let's talk about another. All right, quick super chat. Blue Mustang 357. Blanco Blurred. Early congrats on retirement. I just got my retirement card today with official retirement date 1 August. Congratulations. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Hell yeah. Like, listen, I'm not going to war with Canada. I'm retiring. Y'all can have that. The Battle of Toronto is too cold up there. All right? There you go. They're going to try that next Canada. I've done my service. No way. Anyway, all right, all jokes aside. Hey, let's start with the first topic here. Let's talk about Sony Tencent. Sony suing Tencent. What is going on here? It says right here.
That fake Horizon.
Yeah, it says Sony sues Tencent over slavish clone of Horizon games. PlayStation says Tencent repeatedly tried to license Horizon series from Sony. All right. It says 2 of gaming's biggest companies are now in a very public dispute. Sony, maker of PlayStation and the multi-million selling Horizon series, Horizon Zero Dawn, Horizon Forbidden West, has filed suit against Chinese gaming giant and Riot and Supercell owner Tencent over the latter's upcoming game, Light of Motorium? Motorium? I say Motorium.
Yeah,
I think it's Motorium. God, that's a hard word to like. Multiram, whatever. Modi. Sony says Modiram. I guess it's Modiram. That's a stupid name. Light of Modiram.
That's a stupid name.
They could have put an I between the R and A, and it could have been Light of Motorium. That sounds better, right? I think they need to spell their own name. Anyway, we're gonna call the game Light of Motorium because that sounds better. Sony says Motorium unveiled last November. It says is a Slavish clone of Horizon. I don't like the word Slavish. Slavish? Yeah. Slavish clone? Okay, Slavish. Yo, for a minute I thought I was saying something racist. I'm like, man, that word sounds racist, bro. Like for real. I mean, for real. I'm thinking, my God, that word sounds racist. I don't know what it is. I don't like it. The suit, Sony Interactive Entertainment versus Tencent et al. Was filed Friday in federal court in California, alleging that Tencent has violated Sony's Horizon copyrights and trademark with the development and promotion of Light of Motorium. I don't even know how to say that fucking word now. This is so ridiculous. The suit was first reported by Reuters. Sony is asking the court to rule that Tencent violated Horizon's copyrights and trademark and to enjoin them from producing work that does so. Translation: they want the court to block the game's release. All right, let's look at the video. Let's see. Okay. All right, do you want to see the Horizon Zero Dawn? Because supposedly, let's also be the judge.
Yeah, let's get that one. Yeah.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, can you do it side by side? They have a side by side video of it.
All right. Let's see. This is Horizon Zero Dawn. We'll be the judge.
Your whole life you've been searching. And the elders, they've been holding you back.
Aloy.
The girl is a curse. She came from nowhere. She is no one.
When they told me to raise you, I didn't ask questions.
Why am I an outcast? Who was my mother?
Always you put.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. Baby Aloy, she had a big head, bro. That shit did not.
Oh, wasn't it huge? And a big neck.
Yo, she had a bobblehead. I'm like, yo, Gorilla, she had a bobblehead. I'm like, yo, her head is big. Like, what is wrong with you, Gorilla?
For answers.
How big her neck was?
Look at that head. That head is like a Chucky doll. Yo.
Here in the valley, we may be outcasts, but it's safe. Out there, girl, you'll be lost. You won't know where to turn or who to trust. You'll be chasing a riddle into a wilderness of mysteries. The world of the old ones. What secrets lie buried beneath their crumbling ruins?
I ain't gonna lie, E3 2016.
Why Earth?
Yo, E3 2016, man, that was probably one of the best E3s ever, man. Because that was also the E3 with Spider-Man and God of War.
Yeah, and God of War. Yeah, I thought.
Yo, that shit, boy, that shit was different, man. That's when Sony believed in exclusives. That shit was crazy. Too soon. No, but for real, E3 2016, man, that shit was probably one of the best E3s of all time. At least top 3. Yeah. Easily top 3. Yeah. Right? I would have to like research and go back to find better E3s. But damn, that E3 was off the hook for PlayStation.
Yeah.
That shit was crazy.
09 was real good too. But yeah.
09? What happened in 09? I can't remember. You can remember 09 E3? Good for you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go back on YouTube and figure that out.
09 and 06 were good. I was at 06.
Were you?
Yeah, 06, yeah. That's where I saw Mass Effect. Where I first saw it.
Oh, here we go. This guy in Mass Effect. That's it.
Well, that's where I first saw it. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I came
and ever since then, you couldn't stop playing it.
I
identity.
Oh, well,
confirmed.
nah. After I got to load over at that trailer.
Even if it destroys me,
Got
I
15
will
minutes.
see this through.
All right. Okay, so that was
Zero Dawn.
Now we're
Zero
gonna
Dawn.
see this one. We're gonna see this one. Light of Multiplatform, I guess. All right, here we go. This is the trailer.
That's goals. Oh yeah, it does look like it. Good grief.
And it goes grass.
That part I thought was cool. The environment's the same.
Yeah, you know the song sounds the same.
Wake up.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I don't blame them. Yeah, I don't blame them for suing.
Oh my god.
Like a blatant copy.
I call you
Yeah. Oh, that's. Oh man, come on, yeah. You getting sued. Yeah, you getting sued, buddy.
This is
Oh
Horizon
man.
DLC.
Oh man.
My god, bro. Are you kidding me? They didn't
Oh, looks
try
the
to
everything looks
hide
the
it.
same. Oh man, that's terrible.
Blatant
Yeah, I don't blame
copy.
it.
Carbon copy.
It's the same game.
It's the same game,
It's
yeah.
the same game. This is DLC.
And they didn't even try. Even her hair's the same.
God, bro.
Well, there's the hang glider. And that's
This ain't even this ain't even a conversation. This is not even.
yeah, you can
Listen, let me put it this way. If this game comes out, I will play it. If you're a Horizon fan, because it's literally Horizon.
Oh, look, there's the same force field. Oh man, come on, they didn't even try.
This is not even worth. This is not even. They calling it the 2B version.
With you always, as long as the world shall live.
I mean, this is a blatant ripoff.
I mean, you people are saying it looks better. It should look better because this is now. You saw a trailer from 2016. So that trailer the Porter Ross show first is down there.
The
It's 10
trailer
years
show was
old.
from 2016, so that was the PS4.
That's the PS4.
I didn't show like Forbidden West.
But it ain't even- I don't blame them for suing. I mean, I think it's silly, but I don't blame them for suing.
I had this dream
Even though they're trying to say, I think,
where a god that blessed brought
The
destruction.
I'm sorry, but the voice acting is
So
terrible.
why can't human beings kill God?
The voice acting's bad.
Oh man,
It's like one of them AA Japanese games. RPG voice. At least have real animals, I guess. I don't know.
that's different. But that is different. Well, there's animals and there's like raccoons and rabbits.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not even trying to be different. That's unfortunate.
This is crazy.
And you got the weapons in the same. Oh man, yeah, this is
Tubi version.
Oh man, yes.
This is bad.
Autobots versus Decepticons.
I don't even know what that is, bro. Like, that's an otter? Ooh. Like Monster Hunter? I hope Sony loses. I'm gonna get this game.
You gonna get it? Really?
I hope Sony loses. I'm gonna get this game. This is a little shade. I like the melee. They can speed it up a bit though. It's a little slow. This is crazy.
The real question is why it took you so damn long to sue. This isn't new at all.
What happened?
I said this isn't new at all. My question is why did it take Sony so long to bring suit?
Oh well, look, it may not have. They may have filed this 2 months ago.
But now it's becoming public, right? Now maybe not. I think the trial began. I think that's why. I think like the court case is actually in session. I think it was released. Horizon franchise is at 38 million, or is it Horizon Zero Dawn at 38 million?
I think the series.
Is it the series? The franchise is at 38 million, or or is it Horizon Zero Dawn sold 38 million?
No, it's the series. That includes VR.
The franchise.
And,
Okay, the franchise. Yeah.
Oh,
VR. Okay.
Sony doesn't look at their franchises in the like Marvel.
Yeah, I got
it. Disney does the same thing. They'll tell you the Black Panther. Somebody's bleeding over in the background. Sony. They go ahead and don't say like the Black Panther IP is worth $1 billion.
Even if this game, let's say even if Sony does lose the trial, this ain't gonna be on PlayStation. Because Sony wouldn't allow it. It's only gonna be on Steam, Epic Game Store, and maybe Xbox if they get down with it or whatever. But so this will
be on Xbox.
PlayStation. Yeah, it could be
if
on
it's
Xbox.
on Steam, it'll be on the next Xbox. So
there you
go.
I just realized
Horizon. There you go.
Yeah, I just thought about that. Oh man, so this wouldn't be on PlayStation anyway because Sony's not going to allow that. Oh man, so what do you guys think? Blatant repo?
I can see why they're
crazy, bro.
Yeah, I can see why they're suing. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know if they're gonna win or lose, but I can see why they're suing.
You know what? I'll say this: even if let's just say that even if Sony was to win, to me, and be really careful here. To me, Chinese companies, or I think even in China itself, they do not respect intellectual property. I mean, instead of having the F-35, for example, I know like as far as it comes down to fighter jets, instead of them having the F-35. First of all, a lot of their technology is stolen even from Russia or the U.S. Like instead of them having the F-35, they got the J-35. So and among other things, I remember back in 2007, there was a report that there was a lot of industrial espionage that was, that a lot of Chinese companies and even a lot of Chinese nationals were doing. And some of the companies that were named, but that they stole from were Lockheed Martin and U.S. Steel. What the hell you going to steal from U.S. Steel is beyond me. But I know that was one of the companies among other companies. It's like 17 different Fortune 500 companies at that time. And then we're talking about 20 plus years later. So my point with this, and I'm going with this, is that I'm not too sure. I'm pretty sure Sony has a relationship with Tencent, and to my earlier question, that probably had a role to play as to Sony was trying to work something out with them and say, hey, let's deal with this behind closed doors before we go public with this bullshit. But even if Sony was to win, because they're bringing this, they're bringing this out in a federal court in California, Tencent is a Chinese company. I don't, and again, as I said, with the history of what's allowed in China, I'm afraid I don't know what I don't think that there's too much that Sony can actually do in this instance.
Yeah, I agree with the brain. China as a whole, country has never really seen IP the same way that the West interprets IP. It's a cultural
Right.
thing, for them, imitation is not necessarily bad, as a thing. And definitely for foreign IP, they're just like whatever, right? But I think the sad part about this game is that you see that 80% of it was definitely drawn from Horizon, right? And like 40% of it is just a straight up carbon copy, like just like literally copy your homework, change the colors around. But then when you see then they've created designs that are not in Horizon, they actually have a visual identity that while still based in a Horizon game is actually quite different. And you're like, wait a second, you could have made your own thing. You could have had your own visual identity. You could have had your own, design that would have been as creative. And like you can't copyright a story, right? So the idea of just like this world that needed to be rebuilt over and over again, that's Horizon's world, sure, but you could get that part, right? Like for example, if a person created a world inside the mirror or whatever, like sure, that's like many books have done that, Narnia, a world inside a wardrobe, like Alice and is it Alice in Wonderland, a world down a hole or whatever. So it's perfectly fine to have similar story concepts. But again, the thing is, I was watching this video about a person who deals a lot with quality and like luxury brands. Like when you're talking about Hermes and bags that cost like $50,000 and things like that. And they were then comparing those bags to the ones that are made in China. The ones that are fake and everything. And they were saying that essentially, these guys use very similar materials, if not identically the same. They have, they copy the design, and then they have the actual craftsmen that are able to replicate in a, to a really high degree what you get out of an MS bag, for example. And then they will turn around and sell that bag for like $1,000 versus 50,000. And he was saying that the real sad part is that the talent is there, but the companies don't want to create their own designs. And he was like, if you have the materials, you have the talent, and you obviously have the ability to bring to market these products that are actually high quality in and of themselves, why don't you just make your own designs so that people can then start to source something that is actually true and isn't just a ripoff of something else? And I think that is the thing about Chinese culture that I find to be so shameful. Clearly, these developers are talented. There are some things there in that game that are not present in the Horizon games. Some machines that are able to ride. I think at one point she used a machine as a companion, which, yes, you can kind of do in Horizon, but that seemed to be a little bit of a different thing. So clearly there's talent there to be able to build a game like this. But instead of making your own thing, and just having complete ownership of the entire world and idea and everything that you've created, you decided to make it a ripoff of Horizon. So now it will always be known as fake Horizon, which is a shame, because you could have just created your own thing. You could have made it its own IP. And again, how many shooters are there? There are plenty of military shooters. So, but we all know that Battlefield doesn't look like Call of Duty. Like, none of us looked at the Battlefield reveal the other day and we were like, oh, that's a COD ripoff. Like, no, there's ways for things to be similar in genre, pretty much inhabit the same space, but still have their own visual identity. GT7 feels very different from Assetto Corsa, and that's about fucking cars that are supposed to be real, but there's still a different feel to it. There's something in its DNA that makes it feel different from another game
they all
that is
turn
supposed
left.
to be the same.
They turn left, bro. That's what they do. But you can't copyright left turns.
That's exactly it. And you can't copyright the idea of a world that has been restarted, and spoilers for Horizon Zero Dawn, but that's pretty much it. And we know how the part of the trailer was that the world has been restarted 5 times. Guess what? In Horizon, in the story, the world has been restarted 5 times. So it's like they didn't even get, like, you couldn't have chosen 6 times.
You
Like, you had to
six,
choose the exact same
9?
number.
Well, how about once? Like
exactly. No, it had to be exactly the same number. And that's the thing. It's so frustrating because you see some ideas. Like I saw the creature that when they're crossing the ocean, and I'm like, okay, we've never had an ocean crossing, and we've never had a creature, a marine creature of that size in Horizon. So they had to create their own design. And I'm like, well, that design looks cool. You could have made it your own thing. You really could have. Robots have looked incredibly different from game to game and everything like that, and movie to movie, so there's nothing about the Horizon world that says that this is the definitive sci-fi robot language. You could have just made it your own, but instead they decide to take this weird shortcut, and I'm like, why? You've got the talent, make it your own thing. And like you said, Podok, this is coming out in China, right? So it will have access to like 200 million gamers, and if they had made it, different enough, it would have had access to PlayStation. And there's lots of people that say they love the concept of a Horizon game, but for some reason they are hung up on Aloy or whatever it is that they want to be hung up on. So you could have made it your own thing, but it is what it is.
All right. Okay. All right.
I would say.
Oh, go ahead, Monk. Go
yeah,
ahead, Mighty Tree.
that is a very specific style. What Guerrilla Games has done with creating the Horizon, theme. It's very specific because you have like a native type of garments that's like mixed with metal, and then the animals are all metallic, and you can even see like energy, like you can see the weak spots on them, right? They're like glowing, right? Like where the energy is coming from. And this is just a blatant ripoff, is what it is. Like they even got it down to the hang glider. Like I think that was something you see in Horizon Forbidden West. Even like the blades of grass, like when she was landing the hang glider, the way that it was like orange and it just looked like a certain style looked really, really exact with what you see in Horizon. But yeah, that's China for you, right? And people are like, "Oh, this is the Temu version of Horizon or Shane or whatever floats your boat when it comes to China." But you're absolutely right. They're built for high output, and they don't really care too much about quality. But that kind of goes without saying. That's just how China is, right? So I'm actually not surprised. But that also is another thing too, is that they do have a couple good ones. Like Black Myth Wukong is definitely something that's unique in the gaming industry, and that comes out of China. But of course, you're going to see stuff like this too, for sure.
Okay. All right. Any other thoughts on that? Let me ask you this: Do you think, like, I obviously Sony's doing a blatant ripoff, obviously a blatant ripoff, but for gamers, do you think that's like, you know what? That's a form of competition. Someone's taking someone else's idea and maybe make it better. Because, kind of like what Extreme alluded to. You technically have racing games that are very similar. We used to have sports games. Now, granted, it's based off real life stuff, but you know what I'm saying? Is it so wrong for Tencent to mimic something, take some ideas, but then they add it? I could say this one, the combat's different, because that's not how combat is. The melee combat in this game is not the same as
it's closer to Monster Hunter.
It's closer to Monster Hunter. So somebody might like that. They might like the Horizon background, but with a Monster Hunter type combat system.
That's like Power and Pokemon.
Yeah, that's a good point. So is that something good for gamers? Sure. You could say it's copying. It got a lot of blatant ideas from another brand, but they added something that's not there. Maybe some gamers might like this game better because of the melee combat. We don't know the skill tree.
They just go in and update the visual design, which is a lot of work, obviously. But if they were to change the visual design to have its own identity, I'd say bring it to market. Now, when it comes to what if they bring it as is to market, right? I do think that it is actually a detriment to gamers, because I think that then it stopped us from having a uniquely, driven IP. Like we want things. So, for example, we don't want Overwatch clones, right? We don't want that. We know that we don't want that, right? Concord failed in part because people saw it as an Overwatch clone. So I don't think that is good for gamers. But go ahead and change your design and bring together the new mechanics, that you have brought forward. I'm not even saying change the story because clearly the story is just a complete rip-off of Horizon, but go ahead and keep the story the same, But go ahead and change the visual design, bring it to market. Then I think it's good. If you keep it the same, I think that it's a detriment because we also want the person that took the risk in the first place. We want them to be the most successful companies, right? Like for example, if we take a look at Apple, Apple takes a lot of risk with a lot of their products, at least they used to, and a lot of those things were risky. Like the iPad, when the iPad came, it was mocked. First of all, what kind of name is that? The
It was
iPad.
four. What did they tape four?
iPhone.
They said they taped four iPhones together. I remember the memes.
Yeah,
and then everybody ended up
people
using it.
laughed at it. But they were the first to kind of bring a serious tablet to market. Android had done tablets before, but they just never really got the experience quite right. And they brought it to market. Then immediately there were lots of iPad clones, but would we have wanted the iPad to be buried under the weight of those clones? Like, no, we would have been like, that would have been again a detriment to us overall. So I do think that there is something worth in protecting IP. Like I don't want, for example, China has a lot of electric cars now, that are coming out from BYD and other brands. We don't want those cars to just copy an Audi design or copy a Porsche design, and everything like that. We want them to have their own, identity. Like go ahead and create your own BYD design that is recognizable. I think that Porsches are frankly some of the ugliest cars ever created, but I can recognize a Porsche like from 17 kilometers down the road.
That's true.
I think Porsches are butt ugly. Like honestly, I would love to have one, but I will still call it ugly. It's still ugly in my garage.
It's your ugly Porsche.
It's my ugly. It's my ugly one. It's like one of those dogs. The ugly, cute dogs that people know are ugly dogs, but they like them because they're ugly. That's a Porsche, But the point is, you recognize a Porsche from 10 miles down the road. I can look at the light bar and I can differentiate a Porsche light bar from every other light bar that is created in the automotive industry today. And that is a good thing. That's good. Same thing with Audi. I think Audi's got much more pleasing designs to my eyes. But again, I can recognize an Audi design from a mile away. Like now you see new companies coming out like Genesis from Hyundai. And again, they have a design signature, a design language that I can recognize apart from everything else, So I do think that overall, IP is worth protecting, even from the consumer's perspective, because it gives you these new avenues and it does push these creators to try other things.
Okay. All right. Okay. Any other thoughts?
I gotta add to what he's saying. Yeah, because so first of all, and this goes with what we're comparing it to, right? You brought up Porsche. Porsche definitely is ugly. Well, some of the designs are ugly, right? Like the 911, it has just that strange back that kind of reminds you of the Volkswagen Beetle a little bit, right? It's changed over the years, but it's generally stayed very similar.
I like the rear end of the 911s. I hate the front end. Those buggy eyes. I'm just like, God damn! If we could get rid of these things.
Right. Now, what I was gonna say about it, it's an acquired taste, but you know what? I felt the same way, but I started to gain a respect for Porsche because I see how they win a lot of races. So it's almost like they demanded our respect. Now, you go back to the gaming industry and you take an example, right? Like you mentioned the first person shooters, the military style shooters, and how a lot of them have the same style, but they actually have different flares that can kind of make them stand out, right? Like even within Call of Duty, you have Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and then you have Call of Duty Black Ops, right? They whereas like the Modern Warfare series is more of like your dude bro hoorah type of story, or at least that's what it was in the late 2000s. And then Black Ops kind of became that kind of psychedelical, strange, like out there type of conspiracy theory type of shooter that still had some of those elements that was close enough to Call of Duty, but it was still different, so it was its own thing. Now you have we just saw Battlefield 6 that was announced the other day. But then you also have a free-to-play game that's coming out pretty soon on consoles called Delta Force, right? And Delta Force kind of has a very similar look to Battlefield. But what Battlefield did with their new trailers, they really showed out that destruction and just the complete chaos and immersion and atmosphere that makes it set apart from everything else. So while as you have companies that are trying to catch up with some of your older ideas, it's always good to continue to innovate. And in this case, I think Battlefield's kind of actually reverting back to Battlefield 3, which is a little bit more close quarters, or at least more urban environments. So that could be really interesting. But those are just a couple thoughts that I have just based off what you're saying. Like, demand the respect by putting in the work to create a product that makes everybody say, wait, hold on a minute. There is something different about this. But when it's just a blatant copycat, then it'll probably just fade into the distance. It'll just be another game on Steam because there's thousands of games that are launched on Steam and not a lot of them get a lot of traction. So,
okay.
True.
All right. Let's move on. Quick little topic. Nintendo. We didn't talk about this. So Nintendo set new record. So right here, there's a little bit of a clerical error, but Nintendo shattered records with its highly anticipated launch of the Nintendo Switch 2 in June, Circana reports. The console debuted as the best-selling video game hardware device in U.S. history, selling 1.6 million units during its first launch month, surpassing the previous record of 1.1 million units set by, it says PlayStation 3, but it's really PlayStation 4, in November 2013. Right? And then obviously they go into total spending and all that stuff, right? But here's the real question, right? Last gen, when the Switch was launching, a lot of third-party they weren't confident in the Switch one with this hybrid approach, and then how the Wii U ended. They were like, they weren't feeling it, so they didn't really plan to support it. And then as the Switch just took off, a lot of third party had kind of like the regret of not supporting the platform. So now with people expecting, all right, Switch 2 is going to hit, and now Switch 2 launch a new record, 1.6 million. I think it also set a record in Japan. I think it's going to set a global record, stuff like that. Do you guys think that third party is going to be all in? And here's the question. Do you think third party, how can I put it, can actually put Nintendo as we're going to make sure our games work on Switch 2 type thing, right? You know what I mean? Where now they'll consider lowering the bar if they have to make sure it runs on Switch 2. Meaning Switch 2 could hold back PlayStation 5. But you know what I'm saying? That, because Series S was already bad enough.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We're not missing out on Switch 2 success. So we're going to make sure that we can run these games on Switch. Any thoughts on that? Are you concerned from a third party's perspective that Switch is so successful that third party cannot ignore that platform, so they're willing to make sure their games run on that platform, regardless of the cuts they have to make, design choices they have to make, whatever? Anybody has concerns on that?
I'm concerned even Sony.
No?
Nah.
Oh, he said I'm concerned.
I'm concerned
Sony,
even
Nintendo.
Sony is going like...
Oh, shit. We'll start with the Brain. Brain, go ahead. Brain said nah. Go ahead. Well, you're not concerned that third party will be like, nah, dog, this thing is selling. Our game's going to work on Switch 2. We don't give a fuck.
No. I mean, at the end of the day, they are third-party developers are in the business of making money and going towards the market leader. Now, it's exactly you hit the nail right on the head as far as what you said a little bit earlier. It's the fact that they don't want to make the same mistake or make the same mistakes that they did with the Switch 1 as far as not supporting that. And that turned out to be, they had your butts and they were just wrong. So, they're going to go, follow the money. What's that term? And maybe that would cause third-party development for, or bring down, excuse me, let me rephrase that. Maybe that would cause third-party development to suffer a bit on more powerful machines, whereas, hey, PlayStation is no longer the lead platform for game development. The Switch 2 is now, and and that'll cause for games to underperform or us not be able to get the most out of our systems, even from a PC perspective. It may affect them as well too. However, what that term is, money talks and bullshit walks. And to me, this would be a perfect example. I think it just comes along with the with the territory and more power to Nintendo as far as with the Switch being a nice. I ain't gonna say nice seller because that's an understatement. Being such a very high performer and doing really well as far as making these type of sales. I mean, and then when it comes down to as far as porting stuff, I forget which game I looked at that I saw that I said, oh, I want to say it was Cyberpunk that they were porting over to the Switch. And that M just said, as M alluded to, he didn't even say it, but I know exactly where he was going with it. As far as if PlayStation is talking about, I don't know what games PlayStation is going to put on there, or Sony is going to put on there, but they're going to put games on there. Same thing with Microsoft. It's just to me, it ultimately comes down to following the money. Now, whether or not other systems are going to suffer because of it. Hey, matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna go further. Whether or not other systems are going to suffer for that, to me, I'm neither here nor there because we dealt with that. I mean, in the first game that comes to my mind, it may not be the best example, but I remember, how, comparing Mortal Kombat, specifically Mortal Kombat 2 on the Sega Genesis and to the Super Nintendo. And at that point, and at that point, you had the same developer make, develop the game for both systems, but one system just did much better than the other system. Or even Mortal Kombat 3 for the Sega Genesis for the Super Nintendo. And to me, I know that's a toss up. So we come, Rock, you know what I'm talking about because you come from this era. Whereas, hey, it's the exact same game that is made by the exact same developer, but this game on this system, and I'm not even talking about from going from 16-bit to 32-bit. I'm talking about from one 16-bit system to another 16-bit system, and one game is clearly superior, and the other game is mediocre at best. So to me, I'm not so much that I'm holding out hope, but if worse was to come to worse, to me it would just be something very similar or a continuation of from that time frame.
Let me give an example, and maybe you could test. Let me do the super chats real quick. Glassdoor Gamer says 32 degrees Celsius in Toronto, bro. Boston colder.
That is hot as fuck.
Wow. I think he's talking about Fahrenheit.
Ooh, that's cold.
I don't think that's Celsius.
Celsius.
Is it Celsius or
Yes.
Fahrenheit? He said Boston colder. So isn't 32 degrees hot in Celsius?
It's super hot.
So why is it? He said 32. He said 32 degrees Celsius in Toronto, bro. Boston colder.
It means that it's cooler in Boston.
I guess. I don't know. I guess maybe.
Maybe it's only 31 degrees.
Because 32 degrees hot. What temperature is 32 degrees in Fahrenheit?
It's like 92, 90, something like that.
Oh yeah, well that's hot. Yeah.
32 degrees. So 32 degrees Celsius.
I guess
Celsius
92.
to Fahrenheit.
How close did I get?
It's 89. Are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
That was close.
Hey, man, stop crying. Y'all made it sound like y'all in the Sudan. Like y'all in the equator. Get out of here. See, that's why 32 sounds corny. 89 makes sense. 89 degrees. Okay, I get that.
I'm out here in Texas. I'm used to 32. I grew up with 115 degree weather.
You're dying.
I'm in Texas too right now, Texas. And it's hot.
Texas is hot.
I'm in Texas. Yeah.
What's the temperature?
It'll be raining.
What's the temperature?
I mean, it just the other day it was 110.
You see?
Yeah.
You see how it sounds extreme? 110.
I don't understand
the
your freedom
sound.
units.
110. That sounds hot.
No.
Yeah.
32 don't sound hot.
Freedom units.
110 degrees. That shit. You can even emphasize it. Try to convince somebody 30 degrees. Oh my God! It is 32 degrees outside. And now versus, bro, it is 110 degrees outside. Which sounds
hot? Houston weather for you down here.
Hot? What sounds hot?
Houston down
110. You emphasize.
I said that real casual because that's not even the hottest that it gets. It's like, oh yeah.
I know it gets even worse, but 110 degrees, like holy shit, 110. That doesn't 32 doesn't have the same impact. It doesn't have the same impact.
For real.
Oh my
But
God,
see,
it's
it's like
32 degrees.
you get used to the climate
Very
here.
true.
So when you
Is-
go
is that
somewhere
how-
that's real cold, it's like, oh, it's only 7 degrees
Terrible.
outside. Somebody
Terrible.
that's used
Listen,
to cold weather would be like, oh yeah, it's just 7 degrees. For me,
We're gonna
that's
take
cold.
over.
Facts.
Listen, one day we're gonna take over and invade
Facts.
Australia. You will be free from this Celsius nonsense. We will give you
I
freedom.
don't speak Columbus units. Y'all can miss me.
We will give you freedom.
No, but Australia got like the most craziest animals though, so it makes up for it in different ways, right? You got magpies that are just gonna just
You
round
guys have
into you.
alligators that roam your backyard. Relax. Relax.
You said you got magpies. Like, what out of all the animals?
My
that's not the one-
magpies are very, very fucking annoying. Yes.
Really?
Well, you don't know about magpies?
No, not.
We'll do a
That's
sidebar
important.
at the end of the show, like we always do. We'll learn about
Yeah.
Australian culture.
We're gonna learn
Okay,
about
last
Yeah,
time we
I
heard-
need to learn more about the magpies. I never heard about those.
Last time we learned about the beans. We'll do it at
Oh,
the
yeah.
end.
Dive
Oh, we learned
bombers.
the
The
bins. That was a
dive
good
bombers.
topic. We learned about
Yeah.
bins,
Yeah,
magpies.
magpies.
All right.
That's an
We learned
interesting
about
topic.
magpies.
I'll send you a link.
All right. Okay.
So
let's
you
see.
had
Going-
you asked about the Switch,
Hold on,
right?
let me do the super chats. Gotta do the super chats.
Okay, go
Gordo
ahead.
P23. We got Horizon sold more copies than Xbox sold consoles.
Oh
Lord.
my God, Lord.
Gordo's been on it. He's spitting truth. Spitting truth. Gordo
That's
P23.
crazy.
The funny thing is, even this ain't on Xbox.
Ah!
Gordo's 3 for 3 today. He's 3 for 3. Andrew Wilkins with the super chat. Actually, quarterbacks can kick the ball for a play. Look up Cordell Stewart. Oh, yeah, it's true. Quarterbacks can kick. But Extreme's not going to give a fuck. He's like, who the fuck is a Cordell Stewart? He's going to be like,
I have no idea.
I don't.
Did
He's
you
from
misspell
my
Lionel
hometown.
Messi?
He's literally
Did you
from.
misspell
he's
Ronaldinho? Did you misspell Ronaldo? I know those people.
Oh,
He's from my hometown. I think Cordell Stewart.
Yeah, Cordell Stewart. All right.
Yeah, he's from my
East.
hometown.
Okay. Brian East, you can't overlook the part where Tencent actively looked for a license to make a Horizon game. The
Yeah.
intention was clearly, we can't make it, so let's work to understand that bump in the road. And that's a good point. I mean, if Sony can prove that Tencent approached them to license out so they could make their own game using that same license, they probably already made the game. They just needed Sony's
stamp.
permission, but the product is already made. And Sony's like, nah, you can't use it. And Tencent's like, fuck it, unleash the Kraken anyway. We're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do this shit anyway. Right? Worst comes to worst, we'll just release it in China.
Yeah.
I guess.
And
I
that'll be
guess. And then that'll be enough. Gordo P23. When you think about this in terms of VR, all games are made for Quest first. Even though it's the weakest headset on the market, it's the most popular. That is a good point. But I'm gonna give an example. Well, anyway, let me read this last one. Brian East, you think Black Myth Wukong or Baldur's Gate 3 can port to Switch 2? Black Myth Wukong? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Baldur's Gate 3 had
I would say
problems with
yeah.
the Series S, right?
I think
Maybe?
that's possible on Switch. I think that's possible.
Yeah. See, my thing is this. So about a month and a half ago, I would say, maybe 2 months ago, whatever, I played Callisto Protocol this year. It was about 2 months ago, something like that. I beat it, right? But I played on the Pro, so I had the Pro update. They even had like, the 8K 30 mode, but obviously I don't have an 8K TV to use it, right? But I played, listen, I like Dead Space, so I was good, so I played it. And this was before Expedition 33, so you cannot say you played this but you didn't play Expedition 33. So no, one didn't conflict with the other. But I like, I love Dead Space. So I said Callisto Protocol, stuff like that. So all right, game, pretty good, right? But it was clearly a PS4 game because it is made for PS4, and clearly that's the version we're playing. The only thing is the bells and whistles, better graphics, better performance, better settings. But the reason why I know it's a PS4 game, because that game had a hell of a fuck ton of that squeeze corridor gameplay so you can get to the next stage. So you squeeze and the other stage is loading. Like, it was annoying. I haven't done that in years, it felt like. I was like, wow, I haven't played a game that was this blatant in terms of going, like, it was like back to back. Like, I would go one area and then another, like, it's either squeezing this way or he's like crawling to squeeze. Like, this was bad. And it was like, wow, I haven't played a game like this in a long time, because these were pretty much PS4 built type games, and that was the blueprint, right? And that's what I'm talking about when I think of games being held back. Like, you know, when Mark Cerny, you know, talked about the PS5, one of his talking points was the map in Jak and Daxter, and he said that gaming hasn't evolved since like 2002 when that game came out, because Naughty Dog figured out a way to hide, you know, to make a world look big through squeezing gameplay. And then everybody just copied that blueprint. Like, oh man, we can make a world look huge, when in reality, anytime you squeeze, the game is loading the new stage. And that gameplay's been stuck at 25 years. But with the PS5 and the Magic SSD, you'll see this all gone. Unless the game is still made on the PS4. Then you won't see it gone. If the game's not built for the PS5, or at least the Xbox Series X or whatever, you're still going to see that. So when I play Callisto Protocol, I'm like, wow, I haven't played that game like this in a while. This is the detriment of still making games on older hardware. Sure, you'll get better bells and whistles, which people say, oh, but you'll get the better version. Sure, you'll get better bells and whistles, better frame rates, better graphics. But the game design, you'll be stuck on the PS4 or older hardware. And that's where you'll be like, shit. And I noticed it because I haven't done that in a while. I can't remember going through so many loading scenes and stuff. I'm like, man, I was getting sick of it. I'm like, man, this game ridiculous, bro. You know, that's what I'm concerned about designing a game around the Switch 2, because I'm not really that impressed with Switch 2 hardware and stuff like that. So, like, what are we going to be stuck with if, you know, if third-party developers design the game around the Switch, because it's going to run on the Switch, and then you can say, oh, no, but don't worry, your PS5, your Xbox Series X, your PC running better. All right, got it. We're going to have better graphics, better bells and whistles. But what game design choices did you have to sacrifice to make sure it runs on the Switch? Anybody has concern about that, or am I just talking bullshit?
I'm not really worried about it because Sony's actually building a handheld themselves, right? And so this one's obviously going to be something that they're going to figure out a solution to make it where you're going to have a lot of games that are going to be compatible on this that are also going to be technically considered PS6 games, right? And so that's going to have its own design and capability with its CPU. Now, of course, the Switch 2 actually has quite older hardware, so that's where you run into some potential issues when it comes to multi-plat companies having to actually stretch out those resources to try to get it to work on some of the older hardware. But if a game is built from the ground up to actually be on the Switch 2 or even the Switch 1, when you look at this past generation, like I'll give an example, right? Like Lego Horizon, it's obviously not a very demanding game, but it was built to be day and date on the Nintendo Switch and on the PlayStation. Whereas you had games that launched on the PlayStation first, and then at some point they were like, okay, let's see if we can get it to work on the Switch. Like Stray, for example, right? Not a very graphically demanding game, but it looked good on the PS5. And so you weren't really worried about the quality of it because you saw how it came out on PS5. But then when it came out on the Switch, we were all pleasantly surprised. If you actually got a chance to play it on the Switch, you could tell the difference, right? But it still looked pretty good. Even when you play it in docked on a bigger screen TV, it still holds up pretty well, just, you know, less frame rates. And so you do have that, but I think that you're absolutely right. We got to get away from the PS4 because you're dealing with hard drives, and that's just that is making game design. That's a really big point that you made about game design. Like, I'll give you an example of something newer for that. Like when we saw Ghost of Yotei, right? And we saw that it had the gameplay and it showed how it was able to instantly flash back to the past. That was an example of the PlayStation 5 using its SSD to instantly load the same scene, but in a past setting, right? That's not something that's possible on the PlayStation 4. And that's probably why it's not even on the PS4, because of features like that in a game. So you would say, yeah, definitely Yotei is more designed specifically with the next-gen consoles in mind, and perhaps they'll be able to do some things like that too when it comes to the PS6 and this new handheld that Sony is developing. Now, another thing you mentioned was the Callisto Protocol, right? Because you mentioned that was technically a PS4 game, right? this kind of goes back to that first subject we were talking about when it came to companies copying other companies. Now, tell me this, because Callisto Protocol, who was it developed by? Was it developed by the same people that made Dead Space?
Yeah.
It was the same people?
It was his game,
okay. Well, then that makes sense, because that's like a design type that they're used to. So they're not really stealing anything. They're just kind of building on it, and it's in like a different type of environment, different type of but it's still kind of similar, right? It was in space. You still had ugly monsters, and the death animations were horrendous. I'm pretty sure you died a lot trying to beat that game.
Very.
Yes.
So there's an entire genre.
I was impressed.
Well,
let me say this: I was impressed with the cast of characters, because they had the guy from Transformers. The captain, he was there. I didn't realize it was him. Yeah, he was there. Also, the Asian girl from The Boys, the one that re-heals. I don't know her name, but her power, she was in love with the French guy. She's part of The Boys, the show on Amazon. She's a mutant that instantly heals. So she's in that show. I was like, wait a minute, they got some, actors in here. This is not a bullshit game. So I was impressed. I was actually impressed. I just feel bad it didn't get the love. Something about that genre just doesn't get love, man. The Dead Space, horror space games don't get love. I don't know why. Bunch of pussies.
They were really infatuated with that animation where he would have his head ripped off or like cut in half. It was like they used it like all the time, all throughout the game. Just really gruesome deaths and stuff. You have an entire genre, which is what you would consider copycats of each other, right? The Souls-like genre, which is super popular, but it really is. A lot of it is copy and paste, right? Like what is it? You got to have the ultra gothic style, super ugly, huge monsters you got to fight, the dodge immune frames mechanic, right? And then you just go from there to try to fit your style. But you look at a lot of companies that kind of copy each other and make these Souls-likes. They have their own flair with it. They might even have an entirely different theme. Like you would say Black Myth Wukong is technically a Souls-like, but it's not gothic like Bloodborne is, or like Duskbloods is going to be, or even Elden Ring, right? And they each have their own design language. And so the innovation is in where they take it with the storyline.
Star Wars.
Like Star Wars example, you had mentioned the actor that was in Callisto Protocol. So like good acting, good storyline, good cinematics, that could make it good.
Was it Fallen Order? That's technically a Souls game.
Is it? Oh yeah.
Fallen Order and Survivor.
Survivor. If you play it, they got the Souls formula.
Definitely.
Yeah, they did a good job. They did a really good job on that too.
What's the other one? The one that was like a dang it, I forget the name of it. Shikaro? No, I didn't play.
Oh,
it.
Sekiro.
Sekiro, yeah.
Sekiro, yeah.
That's a Souls like, but it's got more of like
It's also from they made that.
But it's different enough to where it innovates it in a different direction. Like Elden Ring is more open world. And so it's a little less linear with Elden Ring. So that at least they brought a different style to it. It maybe not be for everybody, but at least these companies are trying to do something different. It's when they do something as blatant as like what you showed us earlier, where it's like, the theme is so similar.
Like we
the
all
story
know
is so similar. We're like, wow, yeah. If they sue them, they're probably gonna win that for sure. If that's what they're doing, they're probably gonna take that money. So yeah, there's just when the market gets saturated with a lot of the same thing, that's when we're like, wait, hold on, man, we can't be doing this. We gotta switch it up.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So Extreme, back to Nintendo.
About the Switch 2 topic, right? First of all, yes, third party is going to support the Switch 2 in a big way, right? And yes, in some titles, in some projects, that will mean that they have to reduce the scope of what they're able to do or what they are trying to do in the first place. Now, I think that for things that are already in progress, like we keep saying, this is going to take years before you see this come through. Things are already in progress. You're pretty much going to see that, okay, they're just going to continue, because sometimes it's more costly to go backwards just to start all over again, because basically you're starting from square one. So, if they already had, let's say, the next Assassin's Creed, and it was already, on the performance base or like the Series S, and they realized that, hey, the Switch 2 isn't going to meet this, they're just going to go forward. But you best believe that the one after that, they're going to be like, hey, you know what? It's built from the ground up to have the Switch 2 in mind. There's definitely that. I'm afraid that Sony is going to do the same, because I'm sorry, but there's absolutely no point in taking a game like I don't know, the next Ghost of Yoti and putting that on the Switch 2 if you can't make it run well. But the next time that you're making, your next big title, you are going to think from the Switch 2 specifically. And this has been my issue with PlayStation. And of course, I think there's like a topic on PlayStation coming up, so we can talk about it more there. But that is the thing, for me, I want the games that are produced by PlayStation to have PlayStation as the core identity. And we have, examples of that when they happen. We can see the difference between a PS4 and a PS5 game. That is going to be good. But as PlayStation goes more and more and more into this whole multi-platform narrative, I worry that we are now going to see the PlayStation developers having to account for the Series S, having to account for the Switch 2, or whatever other hardware they know that they will eventually be asked to ship the game on. So that's why there's a loss of confidence. Now, in terms of the whole SSD thing, broadly speaking, there were kind of like three methods that game developers use to be able to load a game, present you a bigger world without showing you an obvious load screen. The first one, of course, is the hidden loading. So that is like you're in an elevator, or you're going down a mine shaft, or you are squeezing through, having one of those squeeze through moments. So that was definitely one of the ways. The other one is by just having reduced movement speed. So what I mean by that is that vehicle speeds, for the most part in video games, have been illusory, meaning that usually, like whenever your car in a game says like 60 miles an hour, that is actually the same speed that you're traveling as when it is saying 250 miles an hour. The difference is just how many visual effects are on screen and like the sound design to make you think that you're actually moving through the world faster than you are. But you are not moving 4 times faster through the world. Sometimes it's like 1.5 times faster than when you were saying 60 miles an hour, but it's not 4 times as fast. And that's one of my biggest issues, because aside from Spider-Man 2 and that opening cinematic, where Sandman throws you across the city and you fling yourself right back, we haven't really seen too many examples of moments where you are actually moving quickly through the world thanks to this SSD. Again, I'll bring up Horizon Forbidden West. Horizon Forbidden West, you have the machines, but the machines travel at relatively slow speeds. If you notice, there usually isn't that big a deal between traveling on a machine versus just running with Aloy. Like, you don't see a huge advantage in terms of like being like, yeah, I'm gonna go ride this machine specifically to travel faster. Now, instant loading, that's been great. Like fast travel, oh, definitely. That shit is like, half a second flat. But the actual movement through the world is limited by the design of the PS4, because you couldn't have these machines travel all that fast on the PS4 game. So that is going to be the thing that for me has been the biggest disappointment when it comes to the SSD, is that I still feel like vehicles don't travel quickly. Like even GT7 is again one of those games that's made on the PS4. And I'm sorry, cars don't really feel all that different driving at 200 miles an hour versus 60 miles an hour on GT7. The numbers get bigger at the bottom of the screen, but I don't see myself moving 4 times as fast. Like, I feel that I'm moving maybe, 1.7 times as fast, but not 4 times, not 5 times, not 6 times as fast as I was moving when it was just saying 60 miles an hour. So that is the thing. The movement speed, I think, is still something that we are missing. And I think the reason is still that a lot of these games are either made for even the Series S. Like, let's not forget that the Xbox ecosystem have about half as much of the speed, on the SSD in just raw computational, like technical terms. But the thing is that PlayStation 5 also has a lot of, internal hardware to make those speeds meaningfully real in a way that the Xbox doesn't. So the SSD on the PlayStation is fast, but they say that, hey, you know what? If you just put the SSD in here and we don't have our decompilers and our special hardware blocks, then all we see is like a 3 times performance in speed. So we've got 10 times performance more SSD, but by the time you get to the end of the chain, it's only about twice as fast as a hard drive. And the Xbox doesn't have that. So even though on paper the Xbox SSD is not all that much slower than the PlayStations, they don't have any of the things that clear the way. So when somebody like a Ubisoft has to make yet another racing game, the next Need for Speed or whatever, they have to take into account the fact that they can't even take advantage of the performance of the PlayStation 5 because it has to run on the PlayStation on the Xbox Series consoles, and they only are about twice as fast as a hard drive, whereas the PlayStation 5 can go 10 times as fast. And that's why, again, in many racing games, we are not actually seeing this huge improvement in movement speeds. And the final way that they had was just to reduce the sidelines. See, the thing about the Jack and Daxter example wasn't so much that you were squeezing through narrow spaces, but it was that your sidelines were always restricted. So you only ever saw so much of the city at a time. Now, this has been the biggest thing that they've kind of done away with, right? This is why every single game presentation that we see, especially if it's an open world, goes over the top of a cliff and shows you how much they're rendering at the same time.
Oh yeah,
even when you take a look at like the Unreal Engine demonstration, that's what they keep doing. They go over the top of a vista and then look at and they're like, look at that pixel like 10,000 miles over there. Yeah, that's actually being rendered. That is not like a some kind of like skybox or whatever. That are like, yeah, we're actually rendering that, and that's because they've been able to do away with that. But that's just sheer GPU power. And that's perfectly fine. That's exciting. It's good that we are able to see higher fidelity further out. Things like level of detail, things like LODs that we have to do, they have less work to do with those things, because the hardware can just handle more things rendered at the same time, which is absolutely fantastic. But for me, I'm just thinking to myself, yes, you can show me what is 10 miles down the road, but it is still taking me almost the same amount of time in terms of travel time as it used to on the PlayStation 4. Like, for example, in Ghost of Yote, they say if you go through the flower fields, you can go faster. And I'm like, you're going what? Maybe 1.25 speed faster? Like, you're not traveling that much faster through Ghost of Yote on your horseback than you were through, when you were traveling on the PlayStation 4 with Jean. And I'm like, why doesn't this feel a lot faster? Like, if I get on a horse and I'm galloping, bro, do you guys know the difference between the speed of a human running and an actual horse galloping? Like, bro,
oh yeah,
that should be something that feels significantly faster.
Definitely.
You shouldn't be thinking to yourself like, oh, I have a long way to go. Oh, I could just run all the way there. It should be like, no, there's a substantial difference between me being on my horse versus me being on foot. And that difference shouldn't just be like 2 times or 3 times the speed. It should be like 17 times, 20 times the speed of travel.
Oh, that's like Assassin's Creed Shadows. Like Assassin's Creed Shadows. It's like the same way.
So yeah, I feel like we haven't seen the speed come out in terms of like actually giving you movement space that feels differentiated. Like you walking versus you running, there should be a difference. You walking versus you trotting on your horse should be a different. But when your horse goes into a full sprint, a full gallop, I'm sorry, man, that should cover distances very quickly. And I don't feel like it has. Now, obviously, I haven't played Ghost of Yote yet. It could be one of those things that just, in a YouTube video, it didn't show. Or maybe it's one of those things where they're like, hey, you know what? We actually do turn up the speed for the final release of the game in a way that they didn't have at that moment. It could be something that they are implementing more and more as they go on. But I've been disappointed in the SSD in terms of actually rendering character movement through the world into a quick thing. Like we saw the Unreal, what was it? What's that new game that's come? Witcher 4 demo, right? And they did that thing. They got over the mountain and then they showed like, hey, if you look at that tree over there, we are actually rendering every leaf on that tree. And, they had the tech demo there and that was fantastic, right?
Oh, yeah,
but then again, I didn't see a horse gallop and be like, holy shit, this is, like I'm literally eating up the miles over here. But it is what it is.
Okay.
I want to add to your point because you had mentioned about the slow movement and helping with loading. And most of the reason why I usually see that on like open world games is because of draw distance and pop in, right? If they're moving slower, it's less notable for when you see stuff coming in the distance. Because if you move in at a steady speed, then it'll draw in, it'll load up, and it'll have a high resolution texture before it's close enough for you to notice that the resolution of the texture was low to begin with because you're too far away to see it. One of the best examples I can think about that is No Man's Sky, because in the PlayStation 4, No Man's Sky came out with like 2014. on the base PS4. And as time progressed, they, we all know No Man's Sky. They kept working at it. They kept chipping away at it. Every time there was new hardware that was introduced, they always tried to make the game run better for the new hardware. And so gradually over time, you would see that No Man's Sky performed much better when it came to pop in and draw distance. I remember playing it recently, I think like a month ago on my PS5 Pro just to try it. And it's it's like a whole different world from what it used to be. And mind you, No Man's Sky, I can hop into a ship and fly across the planet at low altitude at pretty fast speeds. I could even use the pulse engine and really just fly out into space. So you do get a sense of feeling with even some open world games. But you mentioned racing, so I had to talk about that, man, because racing games generally have really good performance because it's almost like it's built around the idea of being able to load things in very quickly because it has a very linear pathway, right? So racing games, they have really good performance usually just because of the style of design that it is, unless it's like an open world racing game where you have much more stuff to worry about loading in at any given time. In a racetrack, it's the same track over and over, so what's loaded is pretty much already there for you. But Gran Turismo 7, I think that without any patches, it ran at 4K 120 FPS. I think that was on the PS5 Pro, but if I'm not mistaken, the base PS5 ran it at 4K 60 native without any patches, just straight out the box, right? That was before any updates. So it ran pretty good. In fact, it ran Gran Turismo. One thing about it that I'll mention is that I was in a car accident years ago. Somebody had ran into the back of the vehicle I was in when I was at a stoplight. And it actually had given me like a little bit of anxiety when I tried to get back on the road, because then you would kind of be looking around like with paranoia, like, oh man, this car's too close to me. Are they going to run into the back of my car? Because like for a while after the accident that took place. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to try something. And it was a PS4. I was playing the PS4 Pro at the time. I went and I had gotten Gran Turismo Sport. And so I was playing that game with the steering wheel. And eventually I think I even used the VR headset. And what it did was it was able to trick my mind into retraining it to have that autopilot. Like, when you're driving, you're not really thinking too much about all the stuff around you. So it, like, the physics in Gran Turismo was so real that it can actually retrain your mind to like not give a shit about all the crazy fast shit that's going on around you. So playing the game, you get used to those speeds, 150 miles per hour, 200 miles per hour. There's a car on that game called the SRT Tomahawk. If you look this up on YouTube, it's actually moving at real-time speeds, and you would think that the footage is being sped up just because of how crazy the vehicle is, because it has like wings on it to kind of keep it planted to the ground, but it's damn near like an aircraft on the ground, and it's super fast. And if you can't get a sense of speed from that, I don't know what to tell you. But racing on a racing game like Gran Turismo, the physics are real enough to the point where you can even use it as a therapy to recover from something like driving anxiety. And it literally took me like a few weeks of doing that, and then I never had that problem with anybody driving like right behind me ever again. And I'm in Texas, so everybody drives like it's a goddamn NASCAR race where everybody's driving 90 miles an hour and they're only 2 feet away from your bumper from behind. So imagine that and not being like, oh, well, I was driving a fucking Porsche 911 on the Nürburgring digitally on Gran Turismo. This is nothing. It's because your mind is tricked into feeling that sense of speed. So I would be the first person to say, you know what, there is some sense of realism that's involved, especially in a game that's a simulator like Gran Turismo. Another one.
There's definitely a sense, but what I would say is this: when GT 8 comes out, Gran Turismo 8, you guys are going to see what the SSD can do. Because I'm telling you, you guys are still falling for the same trickery as before. See, go 60 miles, go 150 miles. Look at how you are actually eating up the track. You're going at maybe 1.5 times the speed, despite the odometer, sorry, the speedometer, telling you that you're doing 4 times the speed. In real life, if you go 4 times as fast, you're eating up the territory 4 times as fast. Like there's a 1-to-1 relationship. In real life, if you go 250 miles an hour, like for example, I think Podorx talked about being on the actual autobahn and how he couldn't drive past a certain speed because you are actually moving that fast. Like there's a certain point where your brain goes, oh shit, this is too much. And that's the thing.
I remember
Whereas
that
you
day.
go and you play GT7, and again, if you don't look at your speedometer, just look around. How quickly are you eating up the track? I'm telling you, you're going maybe twice as fast from your standard 100 miles an hour, and it's not 4 or 5 times. Because if it was 4 or 5 times, trust me, you'll be running into that wall before you get anywhere close. Because I realized that I was looking at these things, right? And it's easier to do if you actually watch another person play this, because you're not feeling it in the controller or whatever. Because again, they do a lot of like sound design and visual design. Turn off the sound, mute, have the streamer play, look at his speedometer, look at how quickly things are moving by you. Look later when he's on a straight, look how quickly things are moving, and you're like, yeah, nah, that's not 5 times faster than it was when he was doing turns. Like Podorok says, when he was doing left turns, it's not 5 times as much as quick. And I'm telling you, this is the thing. But that's because it was made on the PS4. When it goes to the PS5, at least, because the GTA will be made for what? Either the PS5 or the PS6 or some cross generation version, but it will have the SSD built in. You guys are going to come back in many years and be like, Emmanuel, you were right. We can now see the actual speed of the SSD being used in this game. That is if Sony doesn't limit it by the Switch 2. But
oh my God!
I'd be curious to see. You know what? One game that I'll bring up real quick. Did you ever play Star Wars Pod Racer on the N64? I think you could even play it on PlayStation now at a better frame.
I did.
But if you ever remember
you ain't
that game,
You
you
ain't
were
talking to
moving
me.
fast in that game. Yeah, it's like it was faster than Wipeout. Like the way the speeds in there, and then you look at the speedometer, you going like 300, 400, whatever Star Wars metric. I don't even know what they use, but that was like it was the sense of movement on that game is crazy, and that's of course on the old ass console. So I mean. I feel like I could tell the difference, but maybe it's just like it takes a while before you like pick up on it. But if SSD really does make games feel like you're a little bit more planted, that's cool. Like I've driven my car on the toll road.
I say one game you probably could definitely feel the sense of speed difference is Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man Remastered in Spider-Man 2018. The movement between the character in Spider-Man 2 swinging through the city compared to, because what I did was when the remaster came out, I didn't play the remastered when it came out. I just played Miles Morales, and then I played Spider-Man 2, and then I said, you know what, let me go back to play Spider-Man Remaster so I could get the platinum and stuff like that. Yeah, I got the platinum on that one. But when I played it, I was like, wait a minute, this is slow. You could noticeably tell, like swinging movement. I'm like, wait a minute, you could just tell. Like you could tell the swinging movement is slower as compared to Spider-Man 2. You could clearly tell. You play Spider-Man 2, then you go back to the remaster. I played a remaster, which is for the PS5, and hitting like the speed was just slower. You could just tell. Now I'm not gonna say it was game breaking, whatever, but it is noticeable. You notice that the swinging and the movement was just more fluid and smoother, and the traversing through the city, like everything was just moving smoother and faster. While we go back to Spider-Man Remaster, you're like, it's fine, but it was like it's noticeable. It's a huge noticeable difference in the moment. I was like, whoa,
And that's what I'm saying to Gran Turismo players, that's what you're gonna get when you get Gran Turismo 8. You're gonna be like, oh, this 300 miles an hour feels much quicker, and it's a way more territory than the previous 60 miles an hour. And that's just because they're gonna make the tracks actually bigger. That's because that's what it is. It's the scale of the track that needs to increase, in order to accommodate those speeds. And you're going to see that, oh yeah, when I drive at 60 miles an hour versus when I drive at 350 miles an hour, you're going to be like, yeah, no, I can see it actually happening. And that's what you're going to get. So look forward to that.
I don't know about
that's
that.
a good point.
They actually make the tracks 1-to-1 as far as like the dimensions. They actually literally go out there where the tracks are in real life and like record.
That's true.
Like topography of it so that they can get it in there. So I don't
know.
I'm
saying that it's
Kazunori's a genius when it comes to making it. Yeah, no, I understand
yes, it's
that.
1-to-1, but like all the details are 1-to-1. But it's a bit like taking a model of a car, right? That you can make it 1-to-1, but it's like 1/8 the size. What I'm saying is that when the actual speed does come through, you're going to see it's a bit like New York, even New York City in Spider-Man 2. It feels bigger than the map in Spider-Man 1. Even if you're just talking about I guess Manhattan Island, I don't know. But the point is, even if you're just talking about just the geography that is the same, not the extra boroughs or whatever that they brought in, one of them feels larger than the other because you have more speed that you can carry through to cross
I don't
through it.
know.
So
Another thing is that in the comments, people in the comments they'll agree with this. Third person feels way slower than in first person. And another thing too is when you play a game like Call of Duty, and you're running around, try running around with a higher field of view, and you feel like you're moving way faster. When in the real, like in on the server, you're moving the same speed, but because the field of view is opened up, it just feels like you're moving so much quicker. But again, when you're playing in first person view, it feels way faster than when you're playing it in third person view, whether or not you're actually moving faster. I don't think you're actually moving faster, but it looks faster on the screen in first person.
Yo, listen, people in the chat, y'all are so defensive. Like, you guys want to be wrong about this again? I came out 3 weeks ago and I told you watch out for this Sony thing. You told me I was going too far. Now here we fucking are. Okay?
Man.
Guess what? When GTA comes out, you guys are going to come and you're going to be like, yeah, the sensor speed is a lot better. He was right. Again, like, don't embarrass yourselves. Just believe me by default. Just believe me by default, okay? Just pretend I'm right and then say nothing. Even if you think I'm wrong, just say nothing, okay? Because then when I turn out to be right, at least you'll be like, yeah, thank God I didn't publicly embarrass myself on this podcast. So don't, okay? You don't need to be so defensive of GT7. Played like, what, 40 hours of GT7. I'm telling you, I watch people play. You guys know Super GT? You know Super GT. You know, I love watching him. I'm telling you, that's the person I watch when I'm doing my chores. I have, boy, you don't need to be so defensive. I love GT7. I'm telling you, it's a PS4 game that is limited by the PS4. What is so controversial about that? Like, Jesus Christ. Like Porto just said, Spider-Man that's been on PS4 versus Spider-Man that's been on PS5. Huge difference in movement speed.
Oh yeah, major
Horizon
difference.
Forbidden West. Again, are you moving any faster in Horizon Forbidden West than you were in Horizon Zero Dawn when you're just riding the little horsey machines? No, you're not. Even the flying in Horizon Zero Dawn is extremely slow. It's slow as fuck. Like, bro, what are we talking about? Like, what was the last time that you guys were like, hey, I want to cross a huge distance in Horizon Forbidden West, but I'm not going to do it on foot. I must do it on a machine. It's not worth it. It's just easier to walk. It's just easier to run. It's literally just easier to run. Because you don't have to go and find a machine just to override it, just to run. Nah, you just like, dude, it's like, the difference is like 1.25 times the speed. Like, it's okay. I can take the 25% hit, so I don't have to go and do gameplay I don't want to do. I'll just walk there. It's more flexible anyway. And when I say these things, guess what? The next Horizon, when you get on the machine, you're going to move fast. There will be a difference between getting on the machine versus just running. And then you're going to be like, yeah, he was right again. So just...
just... oh, man, this guy.
We'll leave it there. We'll leave
that man's a savage, man.
We'll go. King Thrash. Shout out to Thrash. Do what you do. He says, I think the Switch 2 will need more first-party games than third-party games to meet the success of Switch 1. And I mean, that's probably a true point. But I think Nintendo didn't over-exaggerate. I ain't gonna say over-exaggerate. They limited the power scope of the Switch 2 so that way they can do that. I think that's like Nintendo's main trick. I think Nintendo knows that their products has to be supported with lots of first-party, but they didn't create the environment where their game's going to take like 5-6 years to make because they didn't go balls to the walls with technology and stuff like that. They're still going to be able to pump out games, get a good development cycle. They'll probably be able to push games in 3 years. Maybe like the Zelda might take longer, but for the most part, I think they'll be able to have a lot of games, right? And Nintendo gamers don't really expect like, you know, Naughty Dog level type titles and God of War type level titles in terms of graphics and voice acting, mocap. So that's a lot of things that Nintendo doesn't do that allows them to develop games in a quicker, timely manner and stuff, right? And the fact that they could publicly say they choose fun over performance, they don't get backlash over that.
That's a big deal with Nintendo. People don't realize how much time voice acting takes. Like, for example, what was it? Both with Expedition 33, but if you take God of War Ragnarok, you know, one of the reasons it was delayed by a year was because the actor, you know, he had hurt his back and he wasn't able to do the motion capture. Like, they don't give a fuck about motion capture. So, you know, if you're thinking to yourself, wait a second, I could save a year, like an entire year, if I just forego motion capture. Now imagine if you just forego voice acting altogether. Like you literally just write the script and it's done. The narrative is finished. Like all you have to do is put text boxes. Like that could save you 2 years on just the narrative alone.
In the
So
mocap,
it's like, yeah, this is why they can get out games in like 2-3 years. Whereas, people on the, higher end side, or at least the side that I prefer, they have to spend 5 or 6 years to create a new IP. It is what it is. And it's perfectly fine. Thank you, John Baptiste. Thank you. A person with over 900 hours in GT7, and he says I'm right. Like holy shit! Like I don't understand this whole PlayStation fans' defensiveness. Is it Totoki? Is it because Totoki is selling you guys out like a hole on the street? Don't take it out on me. I've been telling you this truth. Like, bro, what is controversial about saying a PS4 game is limited by the PS4? Like, bro, you guys are so defensive. Relax. GT7 is a great, fantastic game that doesn't give you the true sense of speed you should be getting out of the speeds that it says that you're getting. Like, bro, it's fine. It's trickery. It's perfectly good. It's still enjoyable. But when you get the next version, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, shit. This feels a lot better. It's the same thing with FIFA. Like, I play, oh my God. Recently I was in Sydney, yeah? I go and I play FIFA 25, with my nephew's cousins or whatever, right? And we start the game on the PS4, right? Because it's still a PS4 game. We press start, after all the menus are loaded, because first of all, just to load into the game, I thought the PlayStation 4 was bricked. It stayed there for like 3 minutes with the EL logo, and I'm like, is that normal? Like, but no one is panicking around me, so I'm like, what's going on there? Because on PS5, that should take 10 seconds. On this thing, it was taking like 3 minutes. But okay, that's fine. It's just loading the game, so yeah? So we go through the menu, we select the teams, and then we press start to actually start the match. This motherfucker took like 2 minutes to load into the match. I was like, this shit happens so instantly on the PS5. I'm like, yo,
terrible.
What the fuck is this?
I know what you
People
mean,
do not know. Like, go back and start FIFA, because you get it through PlayStation Plus, so you have access to it. Go start FIFA on your PS4. Go start it on PS5, and
it's a major difference.
Massive difference.
I'm
telling you, it was like a 2 minute look. And when I say 2 minutes, I'm not being hyperbolic. I mean 2 minutes. When literally not launching the game, starting the match. I was like, yo, what the fuck? Yo, on the PS5, you press start, it's already started. There's literally less than a second delay. It's literally like, yep, I'm good to go. While you were selecting menu options, I already loaded it in the background. Like you just launch into the game.
The Grand Theft Auto 5 takes forever to load on all
dinosaur
consoles.
Of a platform.
Facts. On the
SSD
PS4 version?
on the PS5 is so much faster than the hard drive on the PS4. And you guys like, come on, man. Jesus Christ.
I know you get spoiled. You get spoiled by the PS5 because the load times on PS4 is ridiculous, man. Ridiculous.
People don't remember how bad the PS4 was. That's why they think that
load
GT7 isn't limited by the PS4. Like, go and start up a PS4 game and start it on the PS5, and you're going to see. And this is from fucking EA of all people. Like, I'm not even talking about like a studio that cares about the quality of the game. By the way, FIFA 25 is trash. Oh my God. Trash game. Don't buy it, by the way. I'm not saying you should. Don't even buy it. Just
is it FIFA or is it football club?
Or EA FC 25. It's garbage. Okay. It doesn't matter. We all know what we're talking about.
Yeah. They still have the name.
I know what you mean.
Right. The Genius. Drive Club had a good sense of speed. Y'all play Drive Club?
I ain't hear that title in a long time.
That was like a launch PS4 game.
Right? Yeah, that was like way
It was
back.
like a launch window PS4
13, like a long time ago.
It was I remember playing that.
It's okay, Potter, you didn't miss out anything. You turn left.
Oh, I know I didn't miss anything. Believe me. Even the word drive, I'm like, yep, done. Trash.
If I ever work in the gaming industry and I work on a racing game, I would insist the title is called Turn Left. All we have to do is turn left.
Like, turn left. Turn left. Turn left. Yeah. Reggie Bone. He says, now that PS is full third party, now y'all want to talk games? Oh, exposed. And you know what? We're going to segue into the next topic, right? So this is causing a civil war once again within the PlayStation community. This job listing straight from Sony is trying to hire a senior director of multi-platform and account management. I'm gonna skip the first part because the first part is just why PlayStation and why you should work for them. All right, so we're just gonna go straight into the job listing. So, senior director, multi-platform and account management, San Mateo, California, remote okay, but West Coast preferred. Overview: reporting to the vice president, commercial management as senior director of multi-platform and account management. You will play a critical leadership role in shaping and executing the global commercial strategy for PlayStation Studios software titles across all digital platforms beyond PlayStation hardware, including Steam, Epic Game Store, Xbox, Nintendo, and mobile. This role is accountable for optimizing title profitability, ensuring cross-functional alignment, and leading a high-performing team focused on multi-platform expansion, mid-range commercial planning, and platform partner management. Key responsibilities: multi-platform strategy leadership. Oversee the out-of-year mid-range commercial strategy for PlayStation Studio titles across all non-PlayStation platforms, driving long-term revenue growth and audience reach. Cross-functional planning. Lead the commercial contribution to PlayStation Studios mid to long-range planning, ensuring SI leadership is informed with data-driven insights and strategic perspectives. Studio partnerships and influence. Act as the primary commercial liaison and escalation point for heads of production and studio leads, securing alignment and buy-in on go-to-market strategies and publishing policies. Go-to-market execution. Partner with marketing, product, and global publishing teams to develop and execute a cohesive launch plans and lifecycle strategies for multi-platform titles. Commercial account management. Lead platform relationships across PC and console ecosystems, Steam, Epic, Xbox, Nintendo, ensuring strong collaboration, promotional effectiveness, and performance optimizations. Team leadership. Direct and develop a team of senior managers across multi-platform strategy, account management, platform sales, and planning. Direct reports include Director, Multi-Platform Strategy and Account Management, Senior Manager, Platform Sales, Xbox and PC, Manager, Platform Planning and Performance, PC and Xbox. Policy governance. Contribute to global commercial policy settings, advocating for studio priorities and ensuring alignment with broader PlayStation Studios and SIE objectives. Revenue and profitability. Accountable for title-level profitability targets as part of the broader commercial leadership team within the studio business group. Qualifications, this position. Minimum 10 plus years of experience in games publishing, digital media, or platform-facing commercial roles. Proven ability to lead multi-platform strategy and drive performance across global accounts. Demonstrated success working with game development and production stakeholders. Strong analytical skills and business acumen to inform strategic planning. Experience leading high-performing teams in a matrixed global organization. Excellent communication, negotiation, and influencing capabilities. Key competencies. Strategic mindset with deep commercial instincts. Skilled collaborator across creative, business, and technical functions. Ability to balance short-term execution with long-term vision. Adaptive, decisive, and result-oriented leadership style. Bonus, gamer, in-depth industry knowledge across platforms and genres. Willingness to travel as needed. Corporate headquarters.
Go down. How much they getting paid?
Oh no, we're gonna
go down.
We're gonna get there.
Oh, you reading the whole? You reading the whole motherfucking thing?
Yeah,
okay.
We're gonna read every comma. We're gonna be around this motherfucker. Willingness to travel as needed. Corporate headquarters. Studio visits. Industry events. Please revert to our candidate privacy notice. Okay, at SIE. We consider several factors when setting each role's base pay range, including the competitive benchmarking data for the market and geographic location. Please note that the base pay range may vary in line with our hybrid working policy. An individual base pay will be determined based on on-job related factors, which may include knowledge, skill, experience, location. In addition, this role is eligible for SIE's top-tier benefits package that include medical, dental, vision, matching 401k, paid time off, wellness program, and coveted employee discounts for Sony products. This role also may be eligible for a bonus package. Click here to more. This is a flexible role that can be remote with varying pay ranges based on geographic location. For example, if you are based out of Seattle, the estimated base range for this role is listed below. $246,000 a year up to $369,000 a year. So at the top scale, at the low scale, 246. At the top scale, 369 is based off Seattle. So
yeah, I'm putting in my application right now.
Oh shit! He ready?
Man, that's a good payday.
So
yeah, I'm gonna sabotage the whole thing.
Yo, you know what I'm saying? If I got that job. Them shit's going on iOS. You know, stand the fuck by. Now, this job listing kind of, for me, spells out that whoever they hire, this guy's going to get paid a lot of money. And this guy needs to shape, or this guy and gal, this person, is not just a manager just supervising people. This is a person with vision, strategic vision, and they're responsible for PlayStation Studio software titles to be put on multi-platform, platforms outside of the PlayStation stuff. So I think some of us took it as, this is it. They're hiring this guy, and we see it as, some of us, I'm going to say, I know me and M see it the same way. I don't know about you, Sean, and you, Mighty Tree, but me and M, we see that as this guy's going to get paid up to what? 370, what was it? 370K, if that's the top scale, 370K, right? To formulate and make PlayStation Studios profitable. They want profit. Now, I see it as this. Okay. The combination of Helldivers, and I think the key is Helldivers, right? People see Helldivers on Xbox because it's a live service game. That's how they're looking at it. Therefore, no shit's going to be on Xbox. I see, and I think M sees it the same way. It doesn't matter if it's a live service game. This is a bona fide successful PlayStation title. Doesn't matter if it's called live service. It is a PlayStation title with no obligation to be on Xbox, in the same vein as MLB The Show, which obviously has the MLB license that somebody else controls. You're going to have to play nice. Marathon. Obviously, that game was always going to go to Xbox. And if Sony wanted to acquire Bungie said, we will sell to you, but we're going to stay multi-platform. Okay, somebody with leverage. Lego, I don't know what the fuck happened to that. But again, it's always something. This does not have that caveat. This is strictly a PlayStation-owned IP. And when they ported it to Xbox, they used Nix's, which is their own first-party studio that they hired, that they bought for the point of porting. So the way me and M sees it as, this is a PlayStation game. They easily put in Xbox. Doesn't matter if it's live service. It is still a PlayStation game, right? So if you're going to do that with your own PlayStation game, why would you not do that with the rest? Why would it make sense from a business perspective to not put Horizon? How does that make sense? And we see this position, right? If I was hired this position, this is it. Imagine I get hired. You're giving me $370K a year. And you're telling me, hey, you got to make money on Xbox, on Steam, on PC, using PlayStation Studio software. I'm like, cool. All right, got you. You're giving me $370K? Got you, son. We're going to start off with Spider-Man. Oh, no, you can't use Spider-Man. Oh, okay. All right.
Well,
all right. Hold up. I want you, let's say you're my boss, right? I'm going to say you, Sean, you're my boss. And you tell me, you're giving me $370K a year. You're like, Porter Rock. PlayStation Studios, you're going to make them money, strategize a plan. I'm like, I got you, boss. All right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use Spider-Man. We're going to have a campaign. You'll be like, nah, you can't use Spider-Man. I'm going to be like, right? Cool. Now, I'm going to get Horizon, right? We got Horizon that. No. And then you tell me, no, you can't use Horizon either. I'm going to be like, oh, okay. God of War. Nope, sorry, Porter Rock. You can't use God of War. I'm going to be like, all right, can I use Gran Turismo? And you tell me, nope. Can I use Returnal? Nope. Use Ratchet and Clank? Nope. Ghost of Tsushima? Nope.
Pretty compelling.
The Last of Us? No. Then what?
Well, I mean, I see where you're going.
Now you tell me I can't use these games. So then I'm gonna ask you.
Let me help you out.
Well, it's more than that.
Hold up. I'm gonna ask you. So I can't use any of those games. All right, you're about to pay me $370K. What do you want me to use?
Okay.
You tell me, boss. Tell me, boss. How you want me to make money for you? Use what?
It tells you in the job description. It tells you in the job description. It says you could use their out-of-year mid-range strategic. What does it say? You go back to that thing. It says your out-of-year mid-range strategic marketing strategy, right?
You canceled them.
Hold on. When it says mid-range, what do you think that means? Does that mean
close.
God of War? Does that mean Horizon?
No.
Or does that mean something more like Stellar Blade?
No,
does that mean something more like
I could go a little.
Well, first of all, you say out of year. Out of year is going to tell you. That's actually telling you straight up that this isn't going to be day and date. That whole this job description is not.
All right,
okay,
I'm not arguing day and date. I'm not arguing day and date. That's not my argument.
Okay.
I never said they're going to go day and date. I said they're going to put this includes their single player games. That's all I'm saying. This includes their single player games. That's all I'm saying. I did not mention time frame or day and day. I said this is not just live service game. This includes single player games. Everybody's saying, oh, no, it doesn't. So now I'm asking boss, Sean, you're giving me $370K to work with what? Like what game you want me to plan around?
That's why I wanted to actually intervene in that one because I can probably explain what this listing is. Because basically I understand like everybody's jumping the gun. Yeah, look, everybody's jumping the gun. Everybody's jumping the gun with the job listing. So, I mean, it's basically could be for the smaller titles. You also got to think about Freedom Wars, Patapon, or that's games that's actually PlayStation IPs because Bandai Namco was actually licensed to actually get that game. You're probably
paying me more than what you would make. I'm getting paid $370K for Freedom Wars and Patapon.
Look, but also you also got to think about everybody shots golf. That's also a PlayStation IP.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, it's more than just jumping the gun to exclusives. I think PlayStation is still heavy on exclusive.
But I'm asking you. You're paying me $370K. What games I'm doing? What games I'm working with?
You can release older titles. You can also bring back the older titles that haven't. Look, Bandai has been working on it.
What older titles?
Well,
what titles?
It's a bunch of titles.
Studios.
PlayStation has a lot of IPs. You got to think about OG PlayStation 1 days. You got to think about all IPs they haven't released yet. Like they haven't remastered. They can also remaster the older titles. You also got to think about the older titles that came out.
Like what? Like
what? They can also bring them back.
But give me an example. You're my boss, so I'm just doing what you want me to do. Bro, you paying me. Listen, if you want me to sit on my ass and not do anything, I could do that. I would love to get $370K and not do anything. Like, what you want me to do?
Right.
You want me to bring stuff on Xbox and bring profit to your studio? What games
like
you
Medieval?
Work with?
Be like Medieval. Medieval is probably PlayStation 1 title.
Medieval.
Hey,
King Crash says pull up a chair for him.
People still play
so he could jump in. He could jump in. He has access.
Oh yeah, but I let him jump in with me too because I think he know what direction I'm trying to go with this. He know what direction I'm trying to go.
P-Rock, tell me this. P-Rock, tell me this. You showed me that dinosaur game the other day with them UE5 cheeks. Remember that chick with the Coachella outfit?
Yeah.
What platform is that going on?
PlayStation 5
first.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. That's the one you can work with. You work with that. That's our mid-tier. Go ahead and sell some dinosaurs.
See, now you failed because my job is PlayStation Studio games, not Team Killer, third-party games. That's not my job description. So I will tell you, you didn't hire me for that. You hired me. You hired me for PlayStation Studio software to go on Xbox, Epic Game Store, Nintendo. Like I said, let's pretend I'm the guy that got the job. I am being hired to provide profit to Sony with PlayStation Studio software. PlayStation Studio software, that's the job description. To put PlayStation Studio software on PC, on Steam, Epic Game Store, Xbox, Nintendo. You guys are asking me to strategize that. with a responsibility for profit. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm getting $370K. You want profit with PlayStation Studio software games. But now you're telling me I can't use these games. So now I'm asking what games you want me to work with to bring profitability to Sony with PlayStation Studio software. What games you want me to use to do that for you? You're hiring me. You want me to do the job. So I'm going to do the job. But you're telling me I can't use these games. Cool. I won't use these games. What games I'm using then? What games? To give you profit. I'm trying to give you profit.
Yeah, Tokon Fighting Souls will be a good.
SOCON could be a game.
Okay. All right,
SOCON
Tokon will probably work on the Switch too. So.
So Tokon's cool then. So why is Tokon cool and not Horizon Zero Dawn?
Because I just believe they still believe in exclusivity.
I'm just a guy being hired. That's it. I'm just a guy getting a check. You tell me why I can't use Horizon. I'm just be like, listen, I'm gonna do what you tell me to. As long as I get my check. Why does Tokon make sense but not Horizon? I just want to know. Listen, you tell me what you want.
Tokon hasn't been out for years. Tokon has been out for many years, and a lot of people.
Tokon's going to be a live service. It's been out for
like a long time. Yeah. Very long time.
So, like, live service games would be a good candidate, and we're gonna have more studios hopefully doing that the right way.
Does Thrash have issues getting on? Because he has rights. He's been on my Discord server, just like you, Mighty Tree.
Right.
Yo, why do you figure out whether King Thrash wants to come? Listen, guys.
Yeah, Thrash could just jump in. So you know you always welcome Thrash.
I just want to know.
It's just weird.
Let me just put it this way. I've already spoken on this, right? I don't want a single bit of it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't give a fuck if it's GT3, Gran Turismo 3. I don't give a fuck if it's Patapon. I don't give a fuck if it's a game that hasn't been made in 20 years. I don't want any PlayStation game anywhere but the PlayStation. There, see, I said it. That's it. I don't give a fuck.
I agree.
Nintendo, Xbox,
I'm with you.
iOS,
we don't want that either.
Tablet on the fridge.
I'm with you.
I don't want it anywhere but the PlayStation. I want PlayStation to go back to exclusivity. Listen, plenty of brands have a 180. It's time for PlayStation to have their own. I want them to not only go as far as not putting future titles on PC, I want them to delete the games they already put on PC. Okay? How that was true? Obviously, you can't delete it.
You are so clear.
I want them to delete Horizon. I want them to delete all of these things. Go all the way back. If I got that job, my very first day will be taking games off PC. I'm taking games off.
And you be doing the Lord's work. You be doing God's work right there.
I'm selling you PlayStations. That's how I'm going to make you profit on Xbox. I'm going to sell PlayStation.
The confused. Like, wait a minute. He hired you to put more games. He took them away.
Yes, 100. No, you said profit. You didn't say more games. Yeah. You said profit. I'm going to make you more. I'm going to take games off. I'm going to tell you how I'm going to make more money on Xbox. I'm going to take games off. I'm going to go to those people. You know what I'm going to put there? I'm going to put ads. And I'm going to say, hey, complete this shit on our shit. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. Y'all don't even know me. Listen. I'm going to let Crash talk, right? Yeah. You guys can argue about this all you want. But what I'm going to tell you is the thing that has bothered me about this community is that people just don't say how they feel. Just say you don't want this. I don't care if it's business reasons. I don't care if it makes sense. Do you, as a PlayStation gamer, want this thing to happen? Me, I don't. Okay? I don't.
Same here.
I like exclusivity. I want true exclusivity. Fuck PC. Fuck Xbox. Fuck Nintendo. Fuck iOS. Fuck Android. Fuck them and their mama. They don't let you have our games. That's what I want.
I like this guy. He's the best.
You know what? And by the way,
hey, I can relate.
Fuck PS4 too. I'm tired. I'm done with it.
He said, "Fuck PS4 too." We're done with that shit.
Damn. And guess what? The day the PS6 comes out, fuck PS5. That's what I want. Why can't you just say what you want?
Okay.
Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. I will say this about the PC community. When Sony said they wanted emails for Helldivers 2, these people did not give a single fuck. They did not go to Fuckadom and buy a fuck from them to give to Sony. They didn't give a single fuck about why Sony was doing it, all their player counts, all their monthly active users. They didn't care if they could do it easily. They didn't care if it was available in their territory. They just didn't give a fuck. And they just said, we don't want this. PlayStation fans, stop giving a fuck about Sony's business. You have made the PlayStation 5 the most profitable generation that they've ever had. They have plenty of money. They are swimming in it. All of this money is just extra on top of extra on top of extra. You've already made them the most successful console ever. You've already made sure that they killed off Xbox. And now they turn around and they want to do something that you don't like. Why can't you just say, I don't like this? I don't support this and I don't want this.
Hold on.
And
I don't like it. But he was asking a
afterwards-
question, so I was just answering his question. That's the reason why. 'cause
Look,
from
I'm
the
all
jump,
for not
I don't
having
like
that
it
on
either.
Xbox. I don't want
I
it
definitely
either.
don't like it
Let me
either.
do
I
the
don't want
super
it
chats. Let me do the super chat. Then we're gonna let King Thrash rock. All right, real quick. Here we go.
What up,
Let's
Thrash?
see. Let me make sure. Let me make sure. Oh, here we go. Jenna Hayes, seriously, you should apply. You have global experience. You know gaming. You have discipline from the military. Apply, bro. If them motherfuckers tell me, hey, put them shits out, I'm be like, hey, we're paying you to go multiplat. That shit's gonna go on your toaster. You think Phil Spencer says this in Xbox, or you don't know the demon I would be? 370K? Oh shit. Now anyway, King Thrash, he says, y'all don't understand the job description. If there's a seat open, I'll break it down. My brother, you know there's always a seat open for you.
No, I know. I didn't know whether or not this was like a, y'all was doing your thing. I didn't want to just interrupt.
Nah. 60 frames, no lag, always. Everybody. You know what I'm saying? Hell, I don't even know who the fuck Sean is. And he shows up. No, I'm playing. I'm lying, my brother.
It's all good, bro.
I'm lying, my brother, man.
It's all love, bro.
Nah, we got this. You know you're always welcome. Glassdoor Gamer, 370K is decent for when they make you do all the grunt work. Data collection, negotiations, revenue splits. I have a friend at Adobe doing this. 370K is a good job. Especially in America. You getting great salary in America with that pay. M's Odyssey. Shout out to you. He said Last Guardian, Infamous Second Son, Order 1886. Those games go to Xbox. They don't even make them games for PlayStation. For PS5. And Plus Ultra. West Coast under tsunami watch. Y'all tracking? Yeah, I just got the ring thing. Like, what is going on, Thrash? Like, Thrash, what is happening? We gonna get drowned in here?
And what? There's a ring? What? You can hear?
There's a tsunami.
Oh, is it me?
Warning. Yeah. West Coast.
Really?
We in here. You know what I'm saying? Sony goes third party and look what the fuck happens. The end of the world.
I thought you said my mic was tripping. My bad.
Crazy.
Oh.
No, man. I think
about an actual tsunami.
There's an actual tsunami coming my way?
No. It says West Coast. I'm in San Diego area.
Oh, real shit.
You are in LA? You in LA?
I'm in LA, yeah. You probably not all right, but I'm all right.
Shit, you in the mountains. He said you fucked.
I'm in Long Beach. There's a whole beach over here, but I'm in Signal Hill. I'm in the hills of Long Beach.
I'm like 10 minutes away from the beach. Oh shit.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. All right. Thrash, you give us your perspective on this.
Well, I know because I'm in business and I know this position. And you guys have it 1,000% wrong about what this position actually is. It has nothing to do with development of games or telling people where to put games or nothing like that. Absolutely nothing about that. Okay. This is, if you read the overview, that's all you really need to read is the overview. Mm-hmm. It's about expanding sales on digital stores, right? Mm-hmm. That's why they say Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation, yada, yada, yada. They say Nintendo, well, not even PlayStation. They say Nintendo, Xbox, Steam, Epic, those are all of their digital stores. All right. So that's why it has nothing to do with consoles, has nothing to do with development. What it has to do with is expanding profitability in these stores. So what does that mean? That means that, let's say, for example, Steam store, right? You go to the Steam store, you'll see a section called PlayStation Publisher Sale or something like that. Right? Pretty sure y'all seen people bring that up on PC, yada, yada, yada. That is what this man's job is. It's not even his job. He's in charge of the people who do that. So they're trying to expand the sales inside of these stores by basically doing ads. When you boot up an Xbox, you see a full screen saying buy this game, right? That's literally Microsoft trying to sell to people like Sony or any other third party that's on their platform to say, hey, buy this whole ass screen, you know, whatever, however many millions you want. As soon as they boot it up, your fucking game would be the first thing they see, right? And that'll boost profitability. It's not about going to Sony and asking them what game can they put out on this platform. That's not their job. That's somebody else's job. His job is to make sure that these games make money on these platforms. It's also, if you read the overview, it says that they gotta basically talk to the store owners, basically, right? I think it's the last sentence. So what what they're saying there is that they got to negotiate everything. For example, the 30%, right? The 30% that each game basically gets. It's not really a 30% bar. That's just what they negotiate. For example, Call of Duty, when Activision owned them, Sony was only taking 25%, right? Because their Activision guy, in the same exact position that Sony has this opening for, negotiated saying, hey, look, Call of Duty make this much money. We don't want to pay you 30%. We want to make more money, so we're going to pay you 25%. Sony like, fuck you mean? They like, nigga, fuck you mean? This is we sell over 100 million copies, yada 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 yada, and so therefore Sony is agreed to paying 25%. That's the negotiation. That's building the relationships. You build those relationships with these different store owners. If you think about what's on Xbox, what's on Nintendo, what's on Steam and Epic, you got shit like MLB The Show that's in all of those stores, right? So you're gonna need somebody. So when MLB comes up 2026, they're gonna need somebody to sell that, to make sure that that's being properly put in front of the eyes of the customer. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing but marketing and sales. That's it. It's a sales position. I have this very fucking position in my job to where we got to go in the stores and make sure that we build profitability, expand our profitability in these fucking places. You got to buy store shelf. So this is exactly like buying store shelf space. Whenever you go inside of a Walmart or even a liquor store, when you see a row of Coke and you see a row of Pepsi and yada, 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 those are paid spaces. They pay for those spaces. The one that you see at the top or eye level, they paid the most. The ones you see there at the bottom level, well, they didn't pay much at all because they're at the bottom level. So it's like all about strategizing the space of these stores that they have. And that's why they say distinctively, they say the digital stores, and they said I can't think of the goddamn word. Commercial sales, my bad. They're talking about the commercials. That's what that is. It's not, they don't fucking choose what game goes where. They only manage the games that Sony has chosen to go over. That's not to say there ain't going to be no single player games though. That's just not this position's decision. Okay. It's somebody else's.
So you're saying that the decision for single player games with Xbox is somebody else. This
is somebody else.
This responsibility is actually managing the commercial aspect.
Right, and it already exists. This is a very old position because the second that they had their games on PC or even with PlanetSide going to fucking PC, they needed a guy to manage those stores that PlanetSide was going to be in. This position isn't a new position, and the only reason why we see it is because nobody internally wanted it. And the reason why nobody internally wanted it, y'all was talking about how much this person is going to get paid. It's because nobody's that qualified for that position. The person who's going to get paid that $300,000 a year is going to be somebody who's been doing it for 7 years somewhere else, the same exact position. If that person comes in, then they'll get that money. But the people internally looking at it like, I don't got that. They probably going to offer me $100,000. I'm already getting paid $100,000. I don't want to get that much more responsibility. Yes. So it's like, it's just a job position for marketing of the games on these different platforms and nothing more. It's just not their choice. You know what I'm saying? It's not their choice. I know this position. I would never go for it.
I knew it was more than that. Listening, and it basically broke it down into that. I knew it was something deeper, and everybody was jumping the gun when they seen that list.
So now, I'm gonna ask Thrash the trap question then. Okay, do you think they're not gonna put any of the single player games on Xbox? I'm taking the big ones.
The big ones.
You think that's off the table?
Well, look, from my experience in business, I think their single player games, if that was the case, they would have done that first. I think it's easier to port a single player game over, and they have single player games that are much more profitable than some goddamn Helldivers, whether it's games as a service or not. But at the same time, I'm looking at it like the way I look at it is like this. We all know Xbox is a dead console, right? It's dying. Microsoft is. It's not even a joke no more. It's like the console war is over. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not even laughing at it no more. That's why I barely make videos about it. I just make videos trying to educate on what's going on. But we are looking at a time where we're new to this. We've been through a console war before, Sega versus Nintendo, but this isn't the same. No. And it's not the same because it's a digital age to where there's different money. Back then, they were just making money off of sales, right? So Sega was like, fuck it, I gotta put my games on Nintendo and make this money. Today, they making money off of our information and sales. More on our information. So they want our emails. They want this. They want that. They want to get information to sell to marketers to send us whatever the fuck they're going to send us. Read the fucking disclaimers. It's in all of them. You know what I'm saying? They make money on our stuff. This is the digital age. So the gold is now words, letters. That's gold in the world now. So reason why Microsoft is doing what they're doing is that they're literally doing a yard sale to their Xbox players' information. So now it's open to anybody. Nintendo can put their games on Xbox if they wanted to. They would only do it to get information. And that's why they chose Helldivers, because Helldivers is a cheap game. It's not going to go on Game Pass. And it's one of those games, it's an online game to where you're going to have to you're going to use as much of your information as you possibly can. One email of those games, all that shit, email, fucking credit card, motherfucker. Hope that they don't make them open a motherfucking PSN account. You know what I'm saying? Because they might make them niggas do that too. We don't even know yet. We know that Microsoft makes you with Minecraft open an MSN account, right? They tried to do the Xbox Live account. Sony was like, nah, because I don't want to expose I don't want to expose Xbox to my PlayStation players. But Microsoft is allowing Sony to expose their Xbox players to PlayStation. And that's why you see PlayStation Studios and not Nix's when you look up the game and you see not PlayStation Studios, PlayStation Publishing instead of Sony or whatever the fuck. Like how when you see an Xbox game on PlayStation, when you look in the store, it says Microsoft Publishing or whatever. It doesn't say Xbox like that. So it's like it's all you can being in business, you can kind of see all the different moves that are being made. That's why I'm just sitting back laughing because I'm like, bro, like this is truly the end. It's like it's just an ugly looking death. It looks different to us because we've never seen it like this before because we're in a digital age. But that's how you take from a dying console. Microsoft doesn't want these gamers to quit being gamers. The gamers that are left on Xbox right now that are not on PlayStation don't want a PlayStation or a PC because they would have fucking made that move already. So Sony's job right now is exactly what they're doing with China with Steam is to try to expose these leftover gamers to their products. Microsoft doing the same thing with Asus, and you can come over here and play this pretend Xbox with a sticker on it and expose them to the PC side. That's exactly what they're all fighting over this shit right now. Like I feel bad for the Xbox gamer because they are in limbo. They're in limbo. They're gonna what they're gonna do? They're gonna play Helldivers? They're in fucking limbo, bro. Like I understand like people are saying like Sony is fucking up and Sony's this. Sony is trying to survive in a new climate in the gaming space. Sony doesn't have Microsoft money. Nobody can move like Microsoft. People keep saying they're going to copy Microsoft. They don't have the money to copy Microsoft. Fucking Google didn't have the money to copy Microsoft. They just don't have that money. So what they're doing, the only thing that they're doing is trying to get them over. And if Helldivers don't work, then you might see Spider-Man go over there. Whatever will help them expose the players to their games. If Helldivers is successful, they won't do it. But if it isn't successful and they have to go to their big guns, then they'll go to their big guns. It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And they know that it's over for Xbox. And Xbox players sadly don't know that yet, I guess. They should, or they want to ignore it, but it's just over. You know what I'm saying? It's done. There's no such thing as Phil Spencer coming on stage and saying there's no out-consoling Sony. And ever since he said that, we've seen nothing but the opposite of a console console management being put out there like they want to sell it. They don't want to sell this Xbox.
The writing's on the wall, man.
It is. You know, Sony just said a month ago, I don't know if it was during that fireside chat or what it was during their presentation, but they said that they'll be making games that showcase the capability of their hardware, that they're committed to that. You know, especially when you're dealing with, because I think these structural changes of whatever kind of things that they're doing right now in preparation for the next generation and of course the remainder of this generation. But so far they say they committed to that, and they've shown us that. Ghost of Yotei is an example of that. You got all these other, the games that they're making right now, they're going to be only on PlayStation on launch date. Hell, even Death Stranding only on PlayStation on launch date, and that's not even a first party game. So Sony's they've made a name for themselves. They can be trusted. I can't say the same thing about Xbox. Sony, especially these Asian cats, Japanese and Chinese, they're more serious about maintaining their trustworthiness in the eyes of the public. Yeah. They're very samurai style when it comes to that type of stuff. They take that very serious. They don't say something and then do something else. Like Phil Spencer will say, "Oh, well, only 4 games are coming over," and then the whole slate comes over. Or they'll say, "Oh, well, Xbox games are for platforms with Game Pass," and then, well, PlayStation doesn't have Game Pass. Well, we got all your games now. Or they'll say, "Oh, we're not going to move market share selling $1,000 consoles." And what are they working on right now? They're working on $1,000 consoles, and they know they're not going to move market share anyways, trying to do that. But what I'm saying is, Sony is more about what they say. So as of right now, and that's why I said it's speculation to assume that they're moving the whole slate based off of what they've already said. And so they are focused on their hardware, and we're seeing that right now. Now, could that change in the next generation? There may be a little bit of give and take. But when you look at games like Helldivers, that obviously, like I said, it's using an older engine. So I would imagine that perhaps a whole, weaker hardware would be able to handle it, like the Series S. You know what I'm saying?
I'll say this. For anybody that feel like PlayStation is going to print a whole slate or even single player games, let me ask you a question. Would it matter if Microsoft stopped production of Xbox? Like, they still brought the games over there, but they stopped production of Xbox. Because I believe they're getting ready to stop production, bro.
I have to go use the bathroom real quick, so I'm just going to make this real quick.
Yeah, take a boo. You take number 2, huh? You look like you did take number 2. Look at it.
Number one.
He got to do dookie.
Scared the shit out of him, Thrash.
He's going to do dookie.
Number 3.5.
He's like, I can't handle this bullshit. I got to shit.
100%.
Yeah, I gotta get away from this. Okay.
No. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I fucking hate this direction. I don't give a fuck. Okay.
What's the direction?
I don't care about whether Microsoft stops producing, because for me that is such a silly argument. You'd be like, listen, hold on. Sony is fucking up, but don't worry. Microsoft will fall apart before they get you fuck up too much. No, it's still a fuck up. It's still a fuck up. Listen, putting the game Helldivers 2 on Xbox, disgusting. Okay, the PlayStation PC strategy, disgusting. Horizon Zero Dawn on PC disgusts me. Okay, these games have not brought us any bigger games. They have not brought us any better games. What have they done for the PlayStation gamer, other to just dilute the value of the PlayStation?
We don't matter anymore.
No.
You're mistaken. You're mistaken, bro.
You're absolutely right.
That might be the truest thing you say. But here's the thing.
We no longer matter, my guy.
Here's the thing.
All right.
But that's the reason why he doesn't like it. Because then at that point,
I'm just saying.
They're over us, bro.
I'm not gonna have my money support a company that is basically not going in a direction that I don't want to see them go. That's basically all I'm saying.
It's too late for you, though.
And the thing is this, yeah.
But it's not too late because, like you said, every generation is a new generation for choice. Sure, you might say it's too late for this generation, but that doesn't mean we're going to carry on with the same mistake with the PlayStation 6.
No, I'm not even saying that. I'm saying that it's too late for him as somebody who isn't liking this, because as soon as a game come out that he does like, he's going to boot up his PlayStation, and they know this.
No. Hold on.
Okay, all right.
Like, here's the thing. I've got the PlayStation 5.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like on PlayStation 5, you could write, like, let me put it this way. Xbox One, I didn't like their direction, but I still had the Xbox One, and I rolled out the Xbox One. I still bought games on Xbox One. I played it. The new console came out, didn't buy shit from them, didn't play shit from them. Like I said, So yeah, like right now you can say it's too late, but that's you could always make a new choice when the next generation come. And like Nintendo, the last console I bought on Nintendo was the GameCube, and I didn't fuck with them since. It's just you know, sometimes company leaves you. Sometimes the company that you fucked with at
100%.
first, they end up going a different direction. Like Nintendo, I fucked with Nintendo all the way up to GameCube. Even GameCube only sold 25 million. I thought that was a great console. They went in this week or weird correction. I just moved on, and they found a new audience.
Way, right?
It is what it is.
I have an Android. I've always had Android phones, right? I love the Sony Xperia Z line. Okay, love them. I always thought that they were fantastic phones in a smaller package because guess what? I have so many screens around me. I don't need to carry a 6.17 inches, phone in my pocket as well. I didn't need a big phone. I wanted the performance of like a flagship phone in a smaller package, and that's what Sony Xperia used to do, right? That's what they used to be, and they were priced competitively for what they offered. Eventually, I had the Sony Xperia Z1, I had the Z2, and I had the Z3, right? Eventually, they turned away from what I wanted to see in an Xperia phone. So then I haven't bought an Xperia phone in 10 years. And this is the exact same thing. I'm not going to follow PlayStation in a direction that I am not interested in. You might say it's too late for that, it's too late for this, but the thing is, I don't care because my money isn't going to go and support the PlayStation 6 when that direction is not where I want it to go. Now,
wait. Before you move on, let me ask you a question because I want to ask both of y'all this question. Okay, so then where y'all going?
PC.
Let me tell you.
I'm going PC.
Exactly.
That's it.
You gonna go? Wait.
No, hold on.
You gonna go to PC, right? You gonna go to PC?
I already have.
What games you looking forward on PC? What games are you looking forward to on PC?
Oh man.
I mean, it's a multiplayer machine.
Oh, now he want to run.
Quickly, okay?
No. Listen. Let's put it this way: there's only 3 games, not even 2 games this year that PlayStation has that's not on PC.
Right.
Death Stranding and Ghost of Yotai. Just 2.
So you'll leave PlayStation to go to PC to play PlayStation.
No, I'm going to PC because it's the best generic platform. If I'm going to play a generic platform, I'm going to get the best generic platform.
Okay. So but you're going to still play PlayStation?
But yeah.
Well, then it's too late.
What do you mean it's too late?
Because Sony don't care either which way. You're buying their product.
That's fine.
We say the same thing.
Here's the thing. I see what you're saying, but I don't care what Sony thinks. I care what I think.
Of course,
I'm not gonna buy a dedicated generic box or the worst generic box. It's what about me? What I buy doesn't matter.
Of course, I
got it.
You're gonna get the box. We got to do driver updates.
I don't care about whatever. I'll just go with PC. If all these consoles, not just Sony, if all these consoles are just generic devices that pretty much plays everybody's games, then I'm gonna be like, all right, in this world, the best generic device that pretty much plays everybody's games is PC. That's the best generic device. PlayStation is no longer really a curated experience. It's a generic device that does things that everybody else does. So I mean, that's what Sony wants to do. Cool. Sony wants to include other devices in their plans. They want to have development cycles. They want to have dev kits from other companies so they can strategize what game goes here, what game goes there, and they're doing all this stuff. Anytime a new game they come up, they think of other platforms. All right, cool. I'm just gonna get the best generic device, and I'm cool with that.
What makes PC the best?
What?
What makes it the best? The best generic, what makes
for the best generic device for me? Because then at that point I'm just worrying about best performance. I don't really fuck with PS Plus. I only have it because I stacked it years ago. But once it ends, I'm not resubscribing to that. So I ain't gonna do that.
That's fair.
You know what I'm saying?
That's 100% fair.
You know what I'm saying? So like I said, I only have PS Plus regular because I stacked it like 2018. That's the only reason why. But I don't even really use it. I don't even really play a lot of the games I get for free. So that's not really there. Okay. And since Sony's gonna support PC, it's not like I'm missing out on PlayStation stuff. They're still gonna rock out with PC, so that's there. But let me put it this way: you got, and I get the whole cost perspective, and I'm not making an argument for everybody. I'm just making an argument for me. Okay?
Right, that's why I didn't mention price at all.
So it doesn't matter, So let's say like the PC 4090 that came out before the PS5 Pro. So let's say if I was on PC and I say, I'm willing to invest in 4090, and now the Pro comes out, I'll be like, I already had a better upgraded system that could play most games with better performance, I don't really need to worry about mid-gen refreshes or anything like that. I don't have to worry about stuff like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So when you have a world of generic, really the PlayStation, it's like any other old school consoles. Most old school consoles is really about the curated exclusive experience. That's why, like, for example, the PS3 was considered a single player. The 360 was considered a duo box. Two consoles. A lot of them had the same third-party games, but there was a curated experience for Xbox gamers that was really all in on Xbox Live Gold and these competitive multiplayer shooters, while PlayStation was still pushing out the single-player games, Japanese games, RPGs, and all that stuff, even fighters for a little bit. Two distinct consoles. A lot of them had shared the same third party because you still have Grand Theft Auto, Devil May Cry, but they had a unique culture between the two, right? The duo box, the single player waifu box, whatever they want to call it. Distinct culture, and they catered to that culture. In a new era where now everything has to be in more places, getting access to more information, just strategizing on what you can do on other platforms. All right, cool. That's best for Sony. That's whatever. At that point, I just make a new decision. It's almost similar to what Extreme says. When the new decision is done, you know, I'm not gonna cry about two games, Stash. It's just not that serious to cry about two games. Even especially when they're timed exclusives. It's definitely not to cry about a whole strategy. It really is.
Well, what happens when Microsoft starts charging for Windows?
What happens?
Like a subscription service for Windows.
I'll buy
charging subscriptions.
Like honestly, like there's no.
Oh, that's what's next. Yeah, that's what's coming up right now.
Yeah, all right, but I'm gonna have Windows anyway.
Right, but I'm saying like if you're leaving PlayStation because you don't want to pay for Plus, but then you're gonna go to PC and have that.
I don't pay for. No, I'm not leaving because I just said that I don't pay for Plus anyway. So I'm never gonna get to the point where I pay for Plus. That's never gonna happen on PlayStation. So that's not a thing. That's what I'm saying. So that don't mean nothing. And let's say even outside of gaming, let's say Microsoft does go into subscription for Windows. I'm gonna have that anyway because I always have Windows for personal use or work use.
Oh, I feel that.
So Windows is default. Yeah. So that's like,
you know what's crazy?
Lucas, technically, Office pay for Office on the monthly subscription.
I'll be right back. My wife left something on the stove and I smell it burning already. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Oh shit!
The next
to answer Trash's question, even though he's not here, I'm going to say this. I believe in exclusivity. I believe that when you make a platform, you have the duty to the people that buy into that platform to make sure that you maximize the potential of that platform. I appreciate what Apple does. You know, guess what? They maximize what they do on the iPad. They maximize what they do with the Macintosh systems. They maximize what they do with the iPhone and everything like that. Is it as good as Android all of the time? Certainly not. Does Android often get features way earlier than Apple does? Obviously. But the point is, once Apple implements it, they have maximized what they do in their walled garden. And I have never asked of Apple to take something from their walled garden and put it over to Android or put it over to Windows or put it on a non-Apple device for my convenience. And I'm perfectly fine with that. I like exclusivity. I like the fact that an iPhone feels distinctly different from an Android. In fact, I wish that there were more major ecosystems for the mobile phone, right? Because I believe there is space to give even more uniqueness to the devices. Perfectly fine, right? 100%. That's good. Sure. With PlayStation, if they no longer believe in exclusivity, I'm not going to believe in PlayStation more than they do. I've always said this about Xbox. When it came to like Phil Spencer, I'm like, I'm not going to vibe for your brand harder than you. If you, Phil Spencer, do not care about upholding your own brand, I'm not going to fight that fight harder than you are. No, absolutely not. So if Kotoki no longer values PlayStation as a vertically integrated empire from hardware to software and all the way down the stack, then I'm not going to value it more than they do. If they feel like PlayStation is good enough or is cheap enough to give its products out to everybody else, then I'm just going to go somewhere else and then I'm going to get a product anyway. And there is no way that you can pigeonhole that decision into being a bad decision because I already have a PC. Most of my life, I'm going to need to have a PC or some kind of computer to do the work that I do anyway. Like normally, all I have to do is just adapt myself to working from Windows, which is disgusting. I know I hate Windows. It's a disgusting thing. I hate PC gaming. It's awful. But there is no one that is making PC gaming more generic. It's already generic. It's already, the third party.
PC exclusives come to PlayStation every day.
Pardon?
PC exclusives come to PlayStation every day.
Oh yeah,
I don't even know.
yeah.
But
the thing is, I actually know. I'm aware of that.
I don't even know what a PC exclusive. Yeah, I ain't buying PC because exclusives at this point. At this point, exclusives don't even mean anything in the industry.
So what
much.
means?
I think Nintendo's the only one with exclusives, not counting emulation and illegal piracy. But I'm just talking about Nintendo's the only one with real exclusives. They're the only ones with real exclusives by definition. Yeah. Everybody else has either you have a full-blown third-party strategy, Microsoft, or a half-ass third-party strategy, PlayStation.
Nintendo
multi-plat strategy.
Nintendo has a third-party strategy too. They just don't use their own games. Look at Pokemon Go or shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
that's you said that if the PS6 comes out and is just a stronger CPU and a stronger GPU, then that's what makes it generic. Like it's not because it's not.
What makes it generic? All right, man. I don't know what. Okay, let me help you out. PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4 are not generic devices. Why? They built games for that platform. It was exclusive for that platform, and it gave that platform an identity. That's why I use the PS3 as an example. PS3 was not the Dubro box. They made games, even though they had some multiplayer games, but the biggest games catered to that community, which was the single-player experience. 360 was the Dubro box. Microsoft really pushed that. The multiplayer competitive access, right? That was the vision for Xbox. PlayStation 3 had their vision, and they both battled it out. Like, we're better than you because we do this. Xbox like, nah, we're better than you because we do this. Nintendo comes out, hey, we're better than you because we do this. Even though, GameCube got his ass rattled. But you see, everybody had that identity. They had their community. They catered to that community. And then that's what made gaming shine. In a world where the platform provider is now saying, you know what, we are opening up our ideas, our studios to other platforms, you will consider those gamers as well. You're going to consider, it's like, for example, the day-and-date games like service game, for PC, whatever, right? Sony's not just going to say, hey, let's create a game that caters to the PlayStation community. No, we want this game on PC. How do they like things? What would make them, like you said, all that data information, PC is hard to figure out. Them motherfuckers is weird, right? What's going to make a PC gamer buy this game day one? What can we do? What type of gameplay mechanics? What can we strategize to also get them to buy these games? So now we're included with PC for some of these games, especially if you're a multiplayer guy with the live service, you're included with them. It's just how it is. They're not going to make a game with, hey, let's make this game with a PlayStation gamer in mind and then just throw it on PC. No, they're going to take that data. These are some of the things we see PC gamers like. These are some of the strategies, whatever. They're going to be included in that part of the development cycle. That's just how it is. That's what you do as third-party multi-plat developer. You got to consider the audience you attempt to sell to, right?
Right.
That's just how it is. Right. Like, have you noticed? Let me put it this way: have you noticed Microsoft, Xbox, has been pushing a lot of single-player games? The company that's like Xbox Live multiplayer, if you notice most of their games, they've been really rocking and pushing. They've been pushing them single-player games.
Oh, for sure.
It's true.
No.
You see what I'm saying?
You know why?
And one is good for Game Pass 2. They want to cater to PlayStation 2. They like PlayStation gamers love single-player games.
They know these games are going to go to. They know these games are going to go. We just watched Final Fantasy not even make a chart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They cried for Final Fantasy for I don't know how long.
Yeah, I agree.
Didn't buy it. Because they don't buy games.
They know that these guys, like, it's not even like only a fraction of people are on Xbox on Game Pass. Like, I don't give a fuck what nobody says. That 30-something million, that's a number that is not concurrent. That number, a non-concurrent number is not going to continuously grow. That is not a concurrent number.
Yeah.
So it's really Xbox dudes not enthused by Xbox games. It's like they're just playing fucking Final Fantasy 14. Not even playing that. They're fucking playing Fortnite, Call of Duty. They're playing.
I agree, right? Because technically speaking, if you look at the Xbox culture, that culture was multiplayer centric competitive shooters. They were not the single player guys as a culture. Sure, they play some single player games like the big ones, the Grand Theft Auto, Assassin's Creed, right? If you got them big ones. But for the most part, the South of Midnights and that type of games, they didn't give a shit about that. They wanted their multiplayer big bro, hey, let me just get the chainsaw out. And when you think about it, Microsoft hasn't really been giving them that. They still don't got a legit Gears. And it's 5 years into the cycle. That should have been their number one priority. Get Gears out within the first 2 years.
The entirety of this generation.
They're doing Reloaded. Yeah. Like, no, where is Gears? That's Xbox gamers game. And they still don't got it. You see what I'm saying? Bro. So it's like, that's
it's Horizon 3,
culture.
bro.
South of Midnight is not their culture. Indiana Jones is not their culture. They don't want that shit.
No, they don't.
No, they don't want that bullshit.
They don't know.
You know, they're not really about that. Perfect Dark would have flopped. The Hi-Fi Rush, they're not about that life. They want that shit all day.
That's it.
Floods of it. That's what they want. That's their culture.
Yeah, if it's not better than COD, not better than Fortnite, they're not gonna play.
They're not trying to hear that bullshit.
That's the problem with games as a service, period. Anyway, that's the problem with games. That's why that's why Sony is dumb for this games as a service push. It's because you're not gonna unless you can unless you can remove these people from Fortnite. They're gonna come. They're gonna play your fucking game. They're gonna get tired of it and go right back to Fortnite. That's the depth of any game as a service game.
I see it every day.
I don't know how these people in the industry don't understand that. When they make a live service game, you're competing a game against a game that's read from 10 years ago.
Yes.
Fortnite's an old ass game and it's fucking you up.
Yes.
Apex Legend. Rainbow Six Siege. Yo, I didn't realize Rainbow Six Siege came out like in 2016. I'm like,
it's an extremely old game. Yeah.
I thought it came out like 2021. And then I looked up, Rainbow Six released 2016. This motherfucker's whooping everybody's ass. And that game is 9 years old.
Bruh, worse than that. Worse than that.
And yo, I'm telling people.
CSGO.
And oh my God.
Oh yeah, CSGO.
That could be why they're not focused on multiplayer games as much, because they just want to make a couple.
Yeah, and I'm telling people, it's not the same with single player, because I promise you, when Wolverine comes out, it's not competing with Batman Arkham Asylum. It's not even going to compete with Spider-Man 2. Those games moved on. Single player, you always have, if you make a good single player game, it's going to replace a hunger that's already gone. And now you're going for the next one. Live service, they're always feeding themselves. Them Fortnite guys are good.
Yeah.
They're good. They don't need to be fed by anybody else.
They don't give a damn. Yeah, they don't give a damn. They turn their camera on. They got Drake playing with them.
Yeah.
Fucking loser ass Drake. Like you just
they got, Call of Duty. They're not leaving Call of Duty. They're not leaving Call of Duty, man.
Yeah, it's not. It's Fortnite.
Call of Duty.
Bro, have you seen Call of Duty?
Yes.
Call of Duty turned into Fortnite.
They got
Beavis and Butthead on it.
Godzilla is on the map or some shit. It's like, what the fuck is happening here?
Warzone, they playing Warzone.
You know what?
They're not leaving, man.
Microsoft gonna kill Call of Duty.
They're not even. There's so many army characters that they can use, bro. They can Rambo in there. Like they so many different ones that they can. I think they've done it before too, Rambo. But I'm just saying, there's so many army. So many Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Predator Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's so many that look like fucking like an army game. You know what I'm saying? Like look like a Call of Duty. Now you got Nicki Minaj running around in
my God! When I saw that Call of Duty,
you know what I mean?
Nicki Minaj. Man, the fuck is we talking? And they buy it.
You got mumble rappers. You got mumble rappers running around with their shirt off.
Yeah. And they buying it, of course.
Warner Brothers just came out. Their next DC game is live service.
Of course. Even though the one they just had failed and flopped.
Back-to-back flops. The Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad.
And that, yes.
Back-to-back flops.
Flop.
Yo, these guys are hell-bent to get live service out, even if it means corrupting and bankrupting the company.
Yes. Yep.
This shit is weird.
Just because the prospect of how much you can make for how little to spend. They want us to pay for their fucking game and then pay for the development of their game. And they hope that we stay to keep paying them and keep paying for colors. It gets to the point where we just paying for colors at that point. You know what I mean?
Just like a colored suit.
That's why
we get the blue one for $5.
That's why we have the East versus West war. The East is trying to get away from that. They're trying to get away from the Western way of sales.
Let me do some super chats real quick. Let me do some super
Are you going to
chats
sleep?
real
My
quick.
bad, Em. My bad, Em, bro.
Let me do some super chats real quick. We got Brandon Holiday style. He says, my question is, whatever games goes to Xbox, will they be on Game Pass day one? So much for profit. As we all know, Xbox gamers are trained to not buy games. Not even close. Sony don't fuck with that game. Well, look at MLB. MLB's not even on Game Pass anymore. So yeah, that Sony, whatever game Sony puts is full price. Whatever game is, full price.
100%.
You're not getting that Game Pass.
They get
They
that
weren't doing
Game
it on their
Pass.
own shit. They weren't doing it on
Yeah,
their
exactly.
own shit. They doing
Exactly.
someone
They're
else's?
going
The
to
fuck?
publish it to boost up another service.
Yeah,
No.
They don't
Hell
do it on their
no.
own shit. They're
No
like,
way.
fuck you.
Heck
They
no.
don't want to do that shit. You're going to have to wait 3 years. And that's for us. Reggie Bone, explain the go-to market section then. I'll wait. We're moving on from that. We're going to move on. We'll find out. Purple Haze, Porter Rock, what would it take for you for you not to think of PS as a generic device? Go back to the PS1 through PS4 days. That's what it would take. Do what Extreme
Only on
says.
PlayStation.
Delisted
shit on the
everything.
box.
Only on PlayStation.
There we
Focus on PlayStation. Focus our community. Know what we want. I mean, I don't think Sony even listening. Like, we've been begging for Bloodborne. And Sony's like, who are you again? The motherfuckers that got you $30 billion. That who? Like, we can't even get that. That's who. That's who we are.
Hey,
$30 billion didn't come from PC and Xbox. That came
In
from us.
Bloodborne's
get
defense, they're gonna need FromSoft to be on board too.
God damn it! Then figure it out, bro.
They got to figure it out. They got to figure it out.
Fuck,
I mean,
bro.
You spent $3.6
and we
billion on
remember-
PUBG,
Nintendo got
and that
dust
shit
bloods.
was a waste of money.
Nintendo got
Buy
dust
FromSoft
bloods.
then.
We'll never see
Motherfuckers,
exclusive
bro.
again either. We'll never see
it's over.
exclusives again. I mean, we will if we get another console that's competing and threatening it in the market.
It's not.
PC isn't a threat.
And that's why
That's
I'm
the
thinking,
problem.
That's why I'm thinking the whole people like Sony needs. Like when the people disagree with me, that single player is not going to Xbox because they need a reason to sell consoles. I'm like, who's gonna outsell them? There's nobody now. There's nobody.
But see,
There's nobody.
The thing with Xbox is that I
who's
was
gonna outsell them? Listen, I go to PC, but I know most PlayStation gamers are gonna go to PC. That's not gonna happen.
I have an
Most are
answer.
not. So who?
I have an
Who's
answer.
gonna sell them? Who?
I think, right? If they are smart, Valve making a proper Steam machine will be a genuine threat. And I don't mean a trans device like a PC branded as Xbox. No, I mean
device. Here we go.
an actual
Steam OS.
Steam OS
this
run made by Valve console. Because think about it, if they can sell the entire Steam storefront, and right now PlayStation games will be on that machine, I think they would be crazy not to.
Wait.
Because
You
I think
saying
that's
Steam
one-
going to make a console?
No, he says
saying that
if.
if
He
they
said if Steam made a console. That would be a
If
threat.
they make a console and they're competing with PlayStation, then PlayStation games will not be on that console.
And that's what I want, King Thrash. That suits me perfectly.
What I just that's what I'm saying. No, that's what I said. Like unless we get another console that's competing with it, we're not going to get
That's what I'm
exclusive.
saying. I don't think we're getting another console to
And I'm
compete. So
perfectly great
Sony's
with
like,
that.
we do what the fuck we want. Like, who's gonna outsell us? There's nobody. Sure,
can do
Nintendo's gonna
whatever they
sell a
want.
lot. But that's a different community who primarily play for Nintendo. Sony
Right.
cannot get the Nintendo gamer. They want
No.
Zelda, they want Donkey. Sony doesn't. They don't provide those games.
They would have to change their
we
entire
got
identity.
Astrobot. Yeah, they don't have that
have to
identity.
change their
So,
total
so they know
identity,
they're not going to get the Nintendo gamer. That's
I
fine.
just want to clarify for people in the chat. I'm not talking about the Steam machines the way they did it before, because those were trans devices too. There were
Those were trans
instances
devices.
that were pretending to be Steam. No.
Right,
I mean
right.
a properly developed, like a PlayStation 6 competitor
Like the Steam Deck?
from
Like the
Valve,
Like a Steam Deck, but console
like the
form.
Steam Deck, but good. You know,
Steam can't afford it.
There we go.
He said,
Steam
like the
can't- Steam-
Deck. He said like the
Steam
Deck,
cannot
but
afford
good.
it, bro. Telling you,
Yo,
they
I don't
cannot
think they have
afford
that
it,
much
bro.
money. I don't think they have the capital for that.
Yeah,
They're
they barely had enough to
slowly-
make Steam. They barely had enough to make Steam machines. How many Steam machines? How long was
No,
Steam
no,
machines? You had
the
to order
Steam
and wait to be
machines
coming
were
out.
partnered with
Didn't
other
even last a
people.
year. Didn't even last a year.
Yeah, they don't have enough money. They're only a third-party store that sells third-party games. They make 30% on the regular. They don't really make that much money. You've never seen them on a list of most money-making motherfucking
Wait a minute. Right
platform.
Valve
now,
had
it
$13
says this.
billion in 1 year. They have the money to make a console.
They don't have enough money to make a worldwide
They
console.
do. Yeah,
Okay.
they do.
Why didn't they did
Yes,
it?
They do. Because
Why
usually
haven't
most consoles are billion-dollar projects. They earn
Okay.
tens of billions per year. The
They
only reason
earn
we don't have
tens
that
of billions a year. They can't spend that year's worth of fucking money to build a console. You know how much money it costs to design a console? You know how much licensing you have to do? You know how much security? You know how much it costs just for security? You know how much it costs Microsoft for security just on the Xbox One? It cost them $25 million just on security.
Again,
that's how important security is.
$1 billion to come out with a console. They have it in there,
bro. The Kinect was a $1 billion project.
A console that it was never going to sell to make up $1 billion back, and
well,
they still develop that shit in house.
They would make more money sitting where they are and letting you build your console. They'd make more money.
They would, but I wasn't talking about if it is viable for them. I'm saying that if they did do it, they will pose a genuine threat to PlayStation, and
they would not. They would not.
Okay.
It's impossible. What exclusives they making? What? Give me a reason to buy. Give me a reason to buy a Steam Deck. Okay, give me a reason to buy a Steam Deck or a Steam machine console. Sell it to me.
Okay, sure. It will have PlayStation games. It will have Xbox games.
Wait. I have a PlayStation. Games. I have a PlayStation already. Why would I buy another one?
I'm not trying to sell you on it. I'm telling you that will be its value proposition. That
How?
It will be a generic console box.
Go ahead.
And on the in the living room.
Okay, so they'll have a console box in the living room. Is it going to have a DualShock or DualSense? I mean,
I guess not. I think they'll come with their
own
controller.
I'm gonna play downgraded PlayStation games on a more expensive box.
Sure, if you care about the PlayStation games, sure, but there's plenty of gamers that do not care about the PlayStation games the way that we do.
Okay. The first games you mentioned was PlayStation. Okay, enlighten me on what Steam's going to have to offer.
That will be its value proposition.
Right. So what does Steam have to offer? If it's not PlayStation,
all of the games on the Steam storefront.
So everything that PlayStation has,
the better refund policies, the Steam ecosystem, the better reviews,
free online.
Okay. Free online? Probably. Let's hope. But let's just say free online. Okay.
Yeah.
That would be crazy.
Can you upgrade this Steam Deck? Can you update it? Can you upgrade the Steam Deck like a PC?
I will make it a console. I wouldn't make it.
So it's gonna be a straight console.
You'll
make it a straight console. It won't have no exclusives to battle PlayStation. It'll just have better specs, I guess, temporarily.
It doesn't even have to have better specs. It just has to have Steam.
So Steam
in and of itself is a value proposition that PlayStation doesn't match. It doesn't have the refund policy of Steam. It doesn't have the reviews of Steam. Doesn't have the modding capability of Steam. You know.
So why didn't the refund policy save Xbox then? If that was going to save anybody,
wouldn't CS:GO?
Which is CS:GO. That is true. That is an exclusive.
That's like the number one most played game on Steam.
It's also on PS3, but
it will also have League of Legends and things
that it would be exclusive. So you're gonna sell me a Steam Deck? How much is Steam Deck gonna cost?
Probably.
I don't know what Steam. I'm not talking about Steam Deck.
I mean, I'm sorry. I just keep calling it that. I'm sorry. Steam box thing.
Steam Deck.
Steam console.
Steam box. Okay. I don't know. Like in line with the competing PlayStation 6. Around 600 or 700, I guess.
So you're gonna sell me a PS3 game. Your headline game is gonna be CS:GO, a PS3 level game for 800.
I would say this. I would say because we're peaceful. I would say this. Let's say if there's a Steam box, right? If you look holistically, that Steam box will have PlayStation games on it, unless Sony blocks it. But then they will have to pull the whole Steam store stuff out of it. So that's whatever. But
they don't have to block it. They just have to not launch new stuff on it.
But anyway, the Steam games, you got the PlayStation games, you got the Xbox games, you got all the titles that go to Steam. You know, the indies, whatever exclusives that has and stuff like that. No online, and then whatever shit that Steam does, the refund policies, modding, I don't fucking know. Whatever PC gamers enjoy Steam for, that will also be available on the console and stuff like that.
See, but
and then you
have Steam OS instead of Steam
and Steam OS is great. Yeah, but I don't think PC gamers like Steam. Well, they like Steam. They don't like what they like to offer. They only use Steam to test their PC that they built.
What?
I think you are mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, I'm wrong, dog.
PC gamers don't like.
What do you mean they don't like that?
No,
I mean,
they don't like the games. The games don't matter. Like almost every single game that they play, especially if it's a high value game or a big game, They always put the numbers on the side saying how many cores are being utilized and how many frames.
That's PC. That's not Steam. They will do that regardless of which storefront they were using, but they like Steam specifically.
So Steam,
I mean, take a look at the Epic Game Store. The Epic Game Store gives them free games, and they don't fuck with that.
They don't, because they don't want games. They don't care about. They don't care.
GOG gives them games with that DRM, and they don't fuck with that.
They don't care.
DRM. Yeah.
So Steam.
So Steam's OS, right? Say they make a Steam box, uses Steam OS. I'm assuming all of the library that these PC gamers have that they purchased on Steam, at least on on their computer and the regular PC, would that carry over? Would it be compatible with Steam OS?
Yes, because it's a Steam ecosystem device. I'll put it this way, right?
No, because I thought it had to be compatible with Windows for it to be
more than
compatible
PlayStation players love PlayStation.
So you need to be online playing those games.
A Steam Deck would never outsell a PlayStation or a Steam machine would never.
I'm saying competitive.
Yeah, it would be for the PC crowd because they already have their library on Steam OS. That's what I'm saying. Because it would be enticing for them because that's where they built the library.
Let me talk. That was my point. But now you
took it. He said you took my idea.
See,
I think you forgetting one key point about Steam, bro. This is one key point. I'm waiting for you to bring it up. There's one extremely key point that'll make it that proves that it'll never last. That key point is that China don't like consoles, and over 50% of PC Steam players are Chinese. And they know this because 50% of the language spoken on PC is Chinese. So what you gonna do when you lose? You're gonna lose half of your players to compete with Sony?
Oh, you lose half.
Or are you?
Sure. Nah.
But why would they be losing them? Because they should be on PC.
The Steam Deck is not going to replace PC.
So the console. So that's what I'm saying. So no. So you're gonna lose half. So this Steam console, right?
Mm-hmm.
Will lose half its players automatically because China. Half of its players are China.
So you're saying because the Chinese culture typically doesn't prefer the console form factor,
the Chinese government. The reason why Steam is so big is simply because the Chinese government loves Steam more than anybody else. They don't fuck with nobody else but Steam.
Even if you say that is granted, even if you take away the Chinese players, right? And you said you're going to have only half of the addressable Steam ecosystem. That is, you're still talking about 50 to 80 million Steam active numbers per month. That is
but I don't know. But I'm lost. How does Steam lose? Because it's not like we're saying stop with the Steam store on PC. We're not saying that. You still have the Steam store on PC.
So is it going to be console players going to the Steam? Because PC players don't like consoles.
No. It's the console. It's for Steam to try to get their foot in the console market, to attract console gamers with an actual console.
And
that's what he's trying to say.
So it's going to be Steam.
It's still there. It's still there. It's still
right.
There.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
So it's to attract consoles. So it's basically to attract Nintendo and PlayStation players. Away from Nintendo and PlayStation.
Or you could go away or be multi-platform. Away or multi-platform. I don't know. Like a new if you're gonna go in the console market, you're gonna be a competitor versus PlayStation, Nintendo. That's literally what you're entering. If you're creating a form factor actual data console, you will be competing with PlayStation. You just have to figure out a way what's going to make people attractive to be like, all right, why should I get a Steam Deck versus a PlayStation or Nintendo for those that might be interested. Some people you're not going to get. Some people Nintendo you're not going to get because it's going to be like, I fucks with Mario and Donkey Kong. Steam don't have that, so I'm not getting you. PlayStation game might be like, nah, I really fucks with PlayStation, but that's only assuming Sony blocks their PlayStation games. If they don't, and gamers are like, well, wait a minute, it may not be day one, but it's going to be there eventually. What do I get on Steam Deck or Steam Box that I'm willing to wait a year or two for one or two PlayStation games? What more am I getting? Like, what's the trade-off? that would make me willing to wait for a PlayStation game. What more am I getting to make that sacrifice? That I go from day one PlayStation games to, all right, I'm going to play a PlayStation game 15 months from now. What am I getting? One, it could be free online. PlayStation could be like, damn, I don't got to pay for $80 a year no more. Oh, okay. That could be something. Two, you got Game Pass. Let's say if Microsoft says, hey, we're going to make sure Game Pass is on there. They'd be like, oh, so I don't have to actually pay $70 for Xbox games. Okay, that might be something. Better digital sales. Like, holy shit, there is a lot of $5 games in this motherfucker. That could be so, and without a subscription service. That could be something.
Yeah, Steam do have sales. Steam do have sales.
Like you selling yourself.
They do.
Steam do have
Sony has sales too. So does Nintendo.
Okay,
but
you know what I'm saying?
But Steam does.
Until the product is out and we can actually see a comparison on what Steam presents, and then Valve could be like, oh, we got Half-Life 3. Oh, you thought we forgot how to develop games, didn't you? That could be a launch title.
That could be
Half-Life 3.
That could be. Let's see.
You might be cooking. You might be cooking on that.
Might be cooking on that one. On my mama, on my whole mama butt.
You'd be like Half-Life 3.
The only issue I have with that is that PlayStation and Nintendo gamers like games, branded, high quality games, something that Steam hasn't done for 15 years.
I mean, yeah.
So you telling me a Nintendo player is going to look at Mario?
No, Nintendo isn't going to
look at or even look, you know what I mean?
No,
like
I'm gonna say this: Nintendo gamers may not trade a Switch for a Steam Deck, but they could be like, listen, since Nintendo ain't really that great with third party, instead of PlayStation, I'm gonna get a Steam Deck, and that'll be my third party box for this shit that don't come on Switch. So that's good enough.
Okay, I'm gonna
for
bring
Steam.
this back to the PlayStation.
That's good enough for Steam as well.
I'm gonna bring
Like,
this,
you
I'm
know
gonna bring this
what?
back
I'm
to
a Nintendo
PlayStation.
gamer, but I'm not gonna get a PlayStation. I'm gonna get a Steam Deck as my secondary console for all these multiplats. I don't have to pay online. I don't have to pay for PS Plus. PlayStation games gonna come on Steam anyway, so it's not like I'm good. I'll get a Steam box instead of a PlayStation as my complimentary console for the shit that don't come on my Switch too. That could be a thing.
Okay,
That
so
could be
that'll be the complementary device. I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see that. It depends on how much it costs, because if it's like the reason why Nintendo made that complementary device for people who wanted PlayStation and Xbox level games is because of the price and Mario. If that price ain't right,
Pricing's important. Yeah, pricing's important.
Price got to be right. Like these new Xboxes that's about to come out, quote unquote, what are they, $900 and $700?
Oh,
that's gonna die. That's gonna,
all right.
Yeah.
Hey, something came up. I gotta close this show out. But before I close the show out, whatchamacallit, let me read these super chats. Oh my God. Sorry. Okay, all right, there we go. I read this. All right, Glassdoor Gamer. PC is a coin flip. You won't experience consistent quality. There's something you're absolutely giving up, and the PC guys downplay it. Glassdoor Gamer, P-Rock, single player will be only a feature on the live service in the future. These games making all the money. No shit, right? That's how they're going to try to bring single player games as a component to live service. Glassdoor Gamer, man. Valve did Steam machines and flipped. Yeah, it was trash the way they strategized it. Gordo P23, have you guys ever wondered how things would be different if Stadia was a console instead of a service? Who knows, man? Who knows what studio could have done? But then again, they shut down their first party studio, which was stupid. So you clearly know listen, when they introduced Stadia, the guy started out, I don't know much about gaming, and I turned it off. Click. There's a rule. I don't know if you you ever done public speaking or learned to public speak, but like in the Marine Corps, they teach us public speaking depending on where we're at. But anyway, there's a number one rule. You do not start out by telling your audience you don't know anything about the topic you want to talk about. You instantly turn them off. If you tell them you don't know what the fuck you're talking about this topic, but you're going to try to talk about it, like, what are you talking about? That would be like, hey, Emin, I never took photographs. I don't know about the art of photography, but today I'm going to talk about the mastery and how to take the perfect photo. What would you do, Em?
Oh, wow.
If I started out my conversation, what would you do, Em? You would just be like...
yeah, I'm leaving.
Why would you stay and listen when I just told you? I don't know anything about it. Why? Why would you listen to me? Why would anyone listen to me? Yo, King Thrash, imagine be like, hey, yo, King Thrash, let's have a conversation on a podcast. Like, cool, let's talk about games. Yeah, I never played a game before. But let's go on the podcast and talk about it. You're gonna be like, get the fuck out of here.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
not even wasting my time. You would just shut the show. You'd be like, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for booing up this podcast with this dumbass. See you later. Do what you do. I'm out.
Yeah.
You're like, you ain't gonna do that. So when he said that, I'm like, I'm not listening to you, bro. Like, get out of
It's
here.
like somebody with a Nintendo based email acting like they a PC person. Like, relax. Like, that doesn't even make sense. So stupid,
like Vedger, Hawaii and Tencent could come into gaming with a huge bang. Sony better build up their strength, narrative, single player games, and not go to new ventures. Tencent would just copy the PlayStation, copy every game Sony makes, the way they do it. Mount Cash. Yeah, we talked about. They'll just copy their own. They'll call it like, the Stay Patient 6. A Steam machine will be running Steam OS just like the Steam Deck is, which is lacking in online multiplayer support via lack of anti-cheat support. Oh, okay. Glassdoor Gamer. Steam will need Windows OS. Steam OS on Linux has issues. The users of Steam are Windows PC guys. And Cult Classic Cage, listening to Clueless Ponies talk about why they think PC gamers love Steam is pure comedy. Oh, shit, Thrash. Oh, man. Mount Cash, Steam console. Pony. She came in. Classy Cage says she wants to smoke.
She got a PlayStation 5. She weird.
Steam console wouldn't sell very well, only similar to the Steam Deck sells or less. And then finally, DE says Steam Box with AMD, PSX vid card, PSX Vio with Steam OS. I don't think they make a Vio no more. All right, people. Hey, I gotta go. I gotta move on.
Right,
Something came up. All right, but we're gonna go quick round. Extreme, you did a new video?
At some point I did.
Yeah, cool. Check out his channel, King Thrash. When's your podcast?
I don't even know.
Cool. Hey, Mighty Tree, thank you for stopping by. Sean King, that's the man that did the platinums. You got to start platinuming real games because the audience is calling you out. Start playing them big ass bangers. Anyway, Puerto Rock 77.
You goddamn right.
For in these YouTube streets. I'm out of here. See you on Friday. Trying to get a new guest. I'm out of here. Peace.
All right, y'all.
Bye.